So you wanna go to war with me? You're talking like you think you're royalty. You think that I'm afraid, but I don't break. I heard you question my stability. You think I'll fall just like a guillotine, but I am here to stay. Won't look away. The storm is coming, so you better start running. No, you can't control, feel it in my bones. I'm coming for the, coming for the. I'm coming for the throne. I'm coming for the throne. So you wanna be my enemy? You should've known I'd never kiss the rain. Ice runs in my veins, won't play it safe. I don't belong with your nobility. Who died and made you king of anything? You think that I'm insane? It's your mistake. Kingdoms rise and fall, I've come to take it all. I'll take it, I've come to take it. Kingdoms rise and fall, I've come to take it all. I'll take it all. The storm is coming, so you better start running. No, you can't control, feel it in my bones. I'm coming for the, coming for the. I'm coming for the throne. I'm coming for the throne.
Let's go. Yo, I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay in power for a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never gonna look back. Never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast, and that's facts. Only I can make a change. Slowly take a step today. I will never be the same, cause that's what it takes.
All right, y'all. Happy Friday. Welcome to the show. Hope y'all all had a great week. Let's get our other guest in here real quick. Hang on one second. Make sure. Yep, I see him in the back room there. Mediocre. How you doing, my friend? Let me get you up here next to me. What's going on,
up,
amigo?
buddy?
Happy Friday. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers. Hey,
You got your cup?
I'm drinking from the bottle, no cup. Right
All
from
right.
the bottle tonight.
This show is for grown-ups, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
There might be some alcoholic beverages involved. If that annoys you, you go find some other channel to go watch on your Friday night. Mediocre. Sorry for running a little bit late here. I had to adjust the time. I was talking to my wife. I was like, it's 8:14. Like I'm supposed to be live in 1 minute. So I changed it to 8:30. And then I noticed you weren't in the back room. So it all worked out.
I was struggling. I had to run an errand, and I got tied up, and I'm like, shit. And then, one of our people called me. I'm like, I'm coming. Relax. Slow me down, baby. I gotta
Let me
move.
throw the chat up on the screen here for everybody. Anya, how you doing? Anya had a great week with Hawaii Electric. Mediocre.
I'm glad
Hawaii
she
Electric
did.
running up over $18 today, guys. We were buying it a week or so ago at $8. Anya, congratulations. I sold a little bit earlier than Anya did. She had the cojones to hang on another day, and we had a little bit of good news on HE and then a little bit more good news, and it just ran and ran and ran.
Yeah, I got Anya's message late. I was busy. I was out with family and didn't have time to look at it. What was the news? I never even looked it up.
Well, a couple days ago they had the news that that report that we were that was like a week ago, right? That report.
Yeah.
And then the news, was it yesterday, Anya? Yesterday or the day before, the news came out that they were probably going to be a part of a joint settlement. But it's kind of nebulous. It's kind of a gray area if they're really going to be financially off the hook. I haven't even read the report. You guys know I like speed reading these reports, but since I'm out of Hawaii Electric now, I didn't go read the drop that just happened, but it was enough to send the stock soaring up even more. Bigly, after hours, it went up bigly. And I texted Anya, I posted in the Discord and everywhere I could. You might want to think about selling your HE right now.
Yeah, right.
Or at least some of it, because Anya likes to hold on to her shares.
I hope she took some profit. That would
I said, Anya, take some profit.
decision.
She said, I took all the profit, Tony. I took it
Good
all
for
home.
you, Anya.
So
good
that's the win. We love it. Mediocre. Let's I want to go through some news, and we're gonna pull up some Reddit posts. I want to have a little bit of fun tonight. We're not going to talk too much politics tonight because the man behind the curtain didn't like when we did that this weekend when we did that coverage of the rally. They decided that that's not appropriate for you guys and demonetize the whole live stream. So we're gonna skirt around that topic tonight, Mediocre.
Yeah, absolutely.
We got a lot to say, but maybe not on this platform.
Yeah,
if you know what I mean.
We've been talking about doing something else, but you can't do it here. And plus, this is a financial channel, right?
It is finance, but I mean, come on, you can't even cover a rally without getting demonetized. What the heck?
It's ridiculous. But that was a fire live stream, no, wasn't it?
My dad called me up the next day. He's like, I like that mediocre guy. He got some good political views. And you didn't give anybody any quarter, Mediocre. You just said it raw, just like you feel.
And look, I said it that first night, and look, everything I said that night, everybody's talking about.
We got a lot of stuff right that night too, by the way, but we won't go into that. Let's just stop.
Yes,
Jeffrey says he saw Twisters in Dolby. I have a feeling this movie will be the dark horse of the summer. I hope so, Jeffrey. We're going to watch it tomorrow night. Not tomorrow night, tomorrow afternoon. We talked
I'm
about
in,
doing
baby.
it.
Let's go.
We talked about doing it, watching it today at 2, and then we talked about watching it at 5, and all of a sudden it's 8 o'clock. So we're booting to tomorrow.
Am I supposed to be wearing my cowboy hat tonight, Tony?
You certainly can. You want to go get it real quick?
Do you want me to grab it? I
Yeah.
can get it.
Why not? Let me
hang on.
box office
let me
and
go
see
get
where
it.
we're at for anybody who's invested in AMC. Because I know maybe one or two of y'all might be. Hang on, let me put this screen share up here. That would be this one. So for the quarter, and guys, tonight we're going to talk about a lot of different tickers, whatever ones that we've been trading. So just bear with us. We'll get through all of them. We're going to go through quite a few different tickers tonight. Just kind of a week in review since I didn't do any live streams during the week. We are at, for the quarter, 556 million. For the year, box office, we're at 4 billion. We're halfway through the year. So in the second 2 quarters, the last 2 quarters of the years, I think going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of, let's say, 2 to 2.5 billion each. So 8 to 9 billion. I think we could easily get 9 billion for the year if some of these movies outperform. And I know what I was going to check. What do I have my own forecast for? I want Google Sheets for Twisters. File open. Q3 movies. I have Twisters coming in at 100 million domestic. I don't know if you guys can't see that, can you? Because I changed tabs. Here we go. So I kind of put numbers to every movie, and then so the left number here is what I forecasted it was going to do. The right column is what it actually did. And Twisters I have at 100 million. So we'll see. It just opened up this week. And the other big one that we have coming up this month is Deadpool and Wolverine next weekend. I noticed that in my local theaters, all the auditoriums are locked and loaded for Twisters this weekend. I mean, there's a massive amount of screenings of Twisters, and a lot of them were full, except the 11 p.m. There was nobody in the 11 p.m. seats early this morning when I checked. What else we got? Harold and the Purple Crayon. We got a kids movie coming in August. Borderlands coming up in August. Trap. I'm looking forward to Borderlands and Trap. The Crow. I have that one. I know a lot of people are expecting big things. I have it only at 20 million. We got the Reagan biography coming. I'm, a fan of Reagan, so of course I'm going to go see that one, but I have it forecast as a low box office hit. Beetlejuice, I think, is going to be big this quarter. Transformers. And this is just the wide releases that I have. 1.9 billion, my estimate, if all of them hit target. Then you add in all of the limited releases and whatever numbers I might got wrong. I think 2.4 billion is a reasonable number for this quarter. We'll have to see. What do you think, Mediocre? You planning to watch any movies this quarter?
I'm going to do what my wife tells me to. I gotta watch Beetlejuice. I gotta watch.
Beetlejuice. She wants to see that one too, huh?
Oh, you heard her, right? She's
Yeah.
crazy. But I got a question for you.
Yeah.
You talked to a gentleman and you did a video. I don't know if you put it out yet.
Yeah. Eric Holder,
How'd that go?
Roth MKM. I don't know if you guys saw that video or if you're aware of this analyst covering AMC. We got quite a few analyst updates this week on the movie industry. And Eric Holder over at Roth MKM, first in the morning, he dropped his update on IMAX, which I retweeted. I own a little bit of IMAX because I think, over the next year, it's going to do fantastic with all of the great movies we have that are, people are going to want to see on an IMAX screen. And it's a profitable company with very low expenses. They're the cuckoo bird on everybody else's buildings, right? They just go drop their stuff in somebody else's building. But he put out his IMAX update, and then later in the day, he put out an AMC update, and I was reading through it, and he's bullish on the industry. He was upgrading everybody, including AMC. But in the article, it said that he expects AMC to end the quarter with $335 million in cash. And Mediocre, do you remember how much cash we ended last quarter with?
I don't remember off the top of my head.
$660 million. So in his mind, in his model, he's somehow saying that AMC is going to burn off $330 million from April through June.
Where's he getting these numbers? I asked you that.
I think there's going to be a cash burn in April through June, not $330 million. And more importantly, what I asked myself is does this guy remember that in May, on May 13th, the company finished an at-the-market offering for $250 million that the company, added to their cash reserves another $250 million. Maybe he just forgot. Let me give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he's not one of those analysts that's paid to FUD retail traders and the media. Maybe he's not paid to FUD the algos. Maybe this is an honest mistake, Mediocre. So I called him up. What do you think he said?
Nothing.
First of all, he did take my call. So thank you, Eric. I was like, yeah, hi, this is Tony Denaro with YouTube. Eric, I got a couple of questions for you. I just steamrolled right into my pitch. Didn't even give him a time to, and he just automatically started answering my questions. Thank you, Eric. Mm-hmm. And I said, can you confirm that this is correct, that you were quoted properly in this article, that AMC is going to end the quarter with a $250 million cash burn? That was his words. And the cash balance at $330 million. And yes, that's what my model's telling me. $250 million cash burn and ending the quarter with $330 million in cash. I said, Eric, the company also raised $250 million on a ATM that posted May 13th. You know that, right? Oh yeah. That's included in my model too. Who is this again? And that's when he started pushing back, Mediocre.
Yeah.
I said, this is Tony Denaro. I'm a content creator on YouTube. Oh, I can't talk to anybody that's not a client. Click. He got off the phone real quick then, buddy.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I didn't see any. I made a video after that phone call. I don't know if he's made an honest mistake. I don't know if he made a purposeful mistake. But this is why we got to trust but verify. When you get analyst reports, I think it's important for you guys to see if what they're saying makes sense. But you also need to do your own DD and cross-check that information, because it's not always correct. And I that's what I made my video about yesterday. Like, I don't see any way from my spreadsheet model which is typically very accurate, within a couple percent, that AMC ends with only 330 million. We're going to end this quarter, Q2, and we'll find out in 2 weeks. We're going to end this quarter mediocre with somewhere around 660 million plus because of that cash raise that they did. I did, in discussion with folks after the fact, after I put out that video, we came up with one weird scenario. You want to hear it? Y'all want to hear it in the chat?
I want to hear it. I want to hear it.
How can we raise 250 million, burn 250 million, have 660 in the bank, and still end the quarter at 330 million? What do you guys think in the chat?
I think he might have closed some theaters.
Well,
sorry.
I guess, I mean, maybe if you took a major hit to close some theaters, that could be also, but AMC doesn't have a demonstrated history of doing that. The only possible scenario, and I'm not saying this is what happened, I don't even think it's likely, like 1 in a freaking million, would be if AMC went into the open market, not a debt for equity swap, but if they went into the open market and bought back debt, those 10, 12 pick toggles, then they would not have to file an 8K and let us know that they're doing that. And they're basically buying up debt at a discount. And they did that in July of 2022. They bought debt in the open market during the month of May, and they just in July dropped a press release saying, oh, by the way, we spent $50 million to buy 72 million of debt off the open market.
I mean, that could be something, Tony, because they got to get that pick toggle debt down.
But when that happened, mediocre, AMC had 1.1 billion in cash, and they spent 50 million buying very cheap debt back then. And now you're going to try and tell me, one, you're going to tell me that AMC blew half their cash buying debt. Okay. How does this analyst know that? That's number two. How would he know that? Wouldn't that be insider information, mediocre?
I would say, yeah, but
I would say, hell yeah.
That should never happen.
I just think that is so remotely impossible. And he would have tipped his hand that he illegally had insider information, that I just don't see that being the case.
Yeah.
Anya said that analyst has a good track record, so I'm surprised he didn't admit his oversight. You know, maybe I just caught him by surprise, Anya. Maybe he'll man up over the weekend and put out an update on Monday. Or maybe I'm just totally wrong. We'll see. We'll see.
Either way, it doesn't matter, does it, Tony?
I'm pretty confident in my numbers, mediocre. And if I'm wrong, and there's a good explanation, then we'll cover that in a couple weeks. Maybe I'll be wrong, but I don't think I am.
I mean, I use your numbers, so I don't think you're wrong either. But
Anya said she made 87% profit on Hawaii Electric.
Nice
How long
job.
was that hold for you, Anya? I had mine for under, I forget when I bought it, but maybe 2 or 3 weeks. When I was buying it when it was ever down there around $8 or so. 87%, Anya, in whether it's a couple weeks or a couple months. You got to love it. All right. I have one. I'm waiting for mediocre to come back because I want to pull up one other screenshot to show you guys. Let me know in the chat if you're going to go watch Twisters this weekend, please. I want to see how many moviegoers we got in the chat. Someone on one of my videos, they did not like my coverage of AMC this week, guys. They said, tell Ken Griffin, that he's paying you well for your financial statement coverage of AMC. This guy's calling me a short seller. I was like, brother, man, how many YouTubers do you know that go see 2-3 movies a week at AMC. How many do you know that are A-list members that publish movie reviews and spend an obscene amount of their entertainment budget going to the movies? Do you realize I get death threats because people think Adam Aaron's paying me because I enjoy movies so much? And then I got dummies like this guy in my comments this week coming on and saying, Ken Griffin's paying you. Why? Because I am honest with you about the financials and that hurt your feelings. Now Ken Griffin's paying me, huh? I want to put you Ken Griffin guys and you Adam Aaron guys in a room and let y'all battle it out and figure out which one's paying me. But nobody pays me, guys. I'm way too unpopular to be paid.
You're full of shit, Tony. YouTube pays you.
Okay. I got
all those super chats. We're going to start calling you Super Chat Matt.
Oh, Lordy. And don't forget the T-shirts and coffee mugs.
That's right.
Available in the lobby on your way out tonight, guys.
Yep. You don't got the Tony Denaro coffee mug?
No, I got no merch, mediocre.
Come on.
Maybe one day.
You don't got the fanny pack?
No fanny packs. Wes says he already watched Wednesday. He watched Twisters. Mediocre. Why don't you pull up a couple comments there? I want to pull up a Reddit post about something that we talked about this morning. Let me see if I can find it.
Let me see. See what we got. See what I can find here. We got Harold with a super chat saying happy Friday to everyone in the USA. Thank you, Harold. Appreciate you, brother.
Happy Friday.
Harold also says he has to buy some AMC.
While I'm looking for this post, let's put up the AMC chart and kind of go through it, mediocre. I'm going to let you do a run through, and I'm just going to put up the hourly chart here. The daily. I can't find this.
Scott Gray says, put up the link to the chat for the show. Maybe he'll join you to explain himself.
Maybe Eric will join us from Roth MKM. All right, here we go. Here's the daily chart, mediocre. This is starting on May 15th when we had the Roaring Kitty run up.
Yep.
I don't know if you guys saw my short video that I put out today going over what we, kind of what, in a rough sense, what we're constantly looking at when we're looking not only where to trade it, because we have some day traders in the Discord, some momentum traders, swing traders, long-term holders, and options traders. It's a mixed bag. But no matter which one of them you are, you gotta predict out the road ahead of you. So we're always, in a general sense, talking about these supply and demand zones, whether or not everybody in the Discord uses that word. These are pictorially what we're talking about, right? Mediocre.
Yeah, same thing. Support, resistance, supply and demand zones. I use both. That's a good representation of basically what I do.
And the reason that I wanted to do that short video, it's on my channel in the shorts tab, is to let you guys know, like, I know I wasn't live and I don't really post on Twitter much because of all the dipshits and the conspiracy dummies that get their panties all up in a wad if I talk about AMC. So we're talking about it in the Discord. 99% of us this week thought the price action would go exactly like what happened this week,
Tony,
both on AMC and GameStop.
Tony, do me a favor. Put up Six Sons comment. I want to kind of address this.
Yeah,
because
go ahead.
Six Sons,
that's related to the post that I'm looking for here on Reddit too, mediocre.
Yeah, Six Sons is correct. Charles Schwab was having issues today with their website. Okay. But I was able to trade today, and my broker is Charles Schwab. And the reason I pulled his comment is because I want people to understand that there's other ways to trade other than the website, or I don't know what he was using, but I used a platform, Thinkorswim. So I was able to trade, right? But if there was a function on the website I needed to do, like I wanted to add some funds to my brokerage, I wasn't able to do that. I did try to do that today, and that aspect of it I wasn't able to do because you can't do that from Thinkorswim. But regular trading, I was able to trade today on the Thinkorswim platform, which is owned by Charles Schwab. So if that happened to you, I just wanted you to be aware of Thinkorswim. I think it's a great platform. That's the only platform that I use. I'm not interested in any other platform. And people ask me all the time, why? Because I think Thinkorswim is the best. It's just that simple.
Also, all brokers have a phone-in number. You can call them to place your trades. I remember talking about this a year or two ago when Fidelity was having issues. I know it's very old school, but back in my day, Mediocre, we used to have to call in phone orders, and you still can do that.
Yeah, they'll do trades for you over the phone. But
absolutely.
I was on the phone with Charles Schwab today because, well, I'll just tell everybody, I was in a margin call. I owed them $300, and I did not want to sell my shares because, well, enough shares to cover $300. So instead of selling shares, I contacted them. I'm like, look, I owe you $300. I can't send the money over, but my account value is a good value. Like, you're not gonna. There's no reason for them to go through the margin and sell my shares. So they just notated my account for me, luckily because of the situation, right? So I could deal with it on Monday of next week. But you're talking peanuts. I'm not even gonna have to send them any money because it already took care of itself the way the trading day ended. But my point is the phone lines today for Schwab were extremely busy. I know that for a fact. I was on the phone with them.
Mediocre, were you on Schwab before the TDA switchover? Did you talk about that?
Absolutely. Was I a Schwab? No. I came from TD Ameritrade. So the only reason why I stayed with Schwab is because of Thinkorswim. If it wasn't for Thinkorswim, I would have found another platform. Bill Bez says, mediocre trader, do you think AMC is going to dilute? I do. I just don't know when.
I think it's almost a certainty before the end of the year related to the debt restructuring. But dilution could be not necessarily at the money, selling shares into the market. It could be a debt for equity swap to get some of that debt off the balance sheet. Man, I can't.
Yes. Tasty Trade does have a good platform as well. I've never really tried it, but I've seen it, and from what I've seen, I like it. I've never tried it. I'm comfortable where I'm at. I trade a lot of options, and I like the way that Thinkorswim allows me to do that. I'll just say it that way.
Well, I can't find this post, Mediocre, but I had a Reddit post all saved up before the live stream of a guy who we were joking about this morning. I said, Mediocre, you watch, someone's going to post that the glitch in the global IT system this morning was to stop the MOAS. And I freaking had the Reddit post ready to go and I lost it. But there are people that actually believe stuff like this, Mediocre.
I sent Tony a funny message today. I loved it. Oh, God, yeah, it was funny.
I woke up at 4 a.m. and I saw that, and I was like, oh, boy, I already know how today's going to go. They're gonna say that Ken Griffin trying to take down the SEC servers to stop that cat system just long enough, mediocre, for him to move those swap trades around and push them out another 3 years.
Tony, it was
Once all the skullduggery is pushed under the rug, then they can, they'll put out the fix. Oh, guys, here's how you fix that, by the way. Sorry for the inconvenience if you were at an airport. We needed to get these swaps moved out 3 years.
No, Tony, that's not what it was. You're wrong. It was just a sheer amount of synthetics that caused it. Where the fuck have
Got
you
weighed
been?
down by synthetics, was it?
The internet couldn't handle the amount of synthetics, Tony.
Is it kind of like an egg, when the synthetics, they just double bloop, and that just like crashed the system. I think maybe mediocre, that second set of books in the dark pool, it probably they had a stack. It was a stack overflow in the second set of books. It's too many synthetics. They had to go in and add a few lines of code.
If you added up all the synthetics from all these tickers that are, shorted to oblivion, you're going to see, Tony, synthetic shorts, they're everywhere.
Yeah. It could also possibly be that because GTII is going to probably file bankruptcy, that they needed some smoke. They needed some cover to bury all those naked shorts, mediocre.
Naked shorts. It's me.
Oh, man. All right. Enough of the bump.
Yeah,
but
we're
man,
kidding.
I hear a dog, mediocre.
Yeah, she's barking at me because I keep banging over here.
2024 Trump for president. DJT is shorted. There's a lot of shorted stocks, my friends. A lot of shorted stocks. No argument from us on shorted stocks. What we want to help train you guys to do is unplug from the pumpers who are giving you bad information, such like. Who am I quoting, mediocre?
I don't know. I'll pay attention to those people.
No,
I got too much.
Do you remember that girl that was like, she was in the pageant? She's like, I believe that American citizens need access to maps. They don't have access to maps because such like and wherefore.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Such like the Iraq and Nigeria. Anyways.
Let me go find them.
DJT is shorted. There's a lot of shorted stocks. What happens, guys, is we can move stocks when retail piles in them or a catalyst happens, like the overwhelming support on Monday morning because of what happened at the rally. You saw DJT move up, people piling in like he's got this election in the bag. Let's pile in this stock. And then you can root out some of those shorts. You can cause a little bit of a short squeeze. That's all cool. We've seen that happen over and over the last several years in many different stocks. No argument.
I mean, I was looking at DJT on Monday, but it didn't do what I wanted it to. So
here's where the pumpers, and there's one guy whose name rhymes with spam on Twitter that's really bad about it. They conflate short volume with short interest. And it's almost comical because he hasn't been right in 20 years. And he just handed a big old bag to the GTII people recently. And I fear that there's another one coming up in Finger. And now I see he's got his little claws in DJT. Anywhere where there's shorts, he's going to flock to it. There are shorts, and you could get a little bit of a short squeeze on DJT at any time. Absolutely. But you got to have realistic price targets. And these guys telling you that DJT is going to go to 1,000 because of trillions of naked shorts. Just look at the short volume, add it all up. That is horseshit. It's nonsense. So
what happened to our friend Roaring Kitty, by the way?
I don't know. It's been a month. It's been a month. Where's Kitty at?
Here, kitty, where you at?
What Kitty? Oh, I think I had one other comment about DJT. Yeah, I was looking at it on Monday too, mediocre, but my broker where I have the bulk of my funds doesn't let me trade early enough. And by the time I was able to trade in pre-market, it was already running too high because I have reasonable expectations about where it was going to run to. I was like, I'm not going to trade this for a couple dollars and take on all that risk, because the higher it goes, the more I'm thinking the shorts are going to really come in here now. That's how I look at it. The higher something goes, just like this chart right here, the higher you start pushing up, that's a demand zone for the shorts.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you're thinking, you're thinking like, oh yeah, keep going. They're thinking like, yeah, keep going up, because the higher it goes, the more likely shorts are going to be to come in and pile in. If I was a short seller, I'd flip the red and green here on this chart.
See all those wicks on the top of those candles? That ain't good. That ain't good. That's sellers. Whether it's profit taking or shorts, whatever, that's people selling their shares or selling into the market because it's overvalued. That's what those wicks tell me.
Let's pull up.
Why I don't want to buy there.
Let's pull up the DJT chart. I mean, look at this chart. It went from 31 to 45 bucks, which is a fantastic opportunity. If you were buying in the 24s, 28, 30, where it had been sitting here for the last month, what a great opportunity. But guys, I'm going to keep telling you on this channel anyways, you got to know the financials of the company that you're investing in. And the financials, quite bluntly, of DJT are not that great. I think you know that, right? You guys know the fundamentals, the financials of this stock are not that great. And I've been saying this for, we used to trade this a lot before it converted to DJT. I forget the ticker. I already forgot. DWAC. Yeah, we made a lot of money on DWAC. I got no problem with trading this stock, but fundamentally, financially, it's a early startup company with really bad fundamentals, and they're going to need to dilute and raise money. And are you mad at Adam Aron? Are you mad at AMC? Wait till you see what's going to happen with DJT. That's all I'm going to say. It's coming. I can't tell you when, but it's coming. So if you're trading it, play it freaking smart and stop listening to these dipshits that tell you it's going to $1,000, because even if it did start moving up, what are they going to do? Mediocre. What's the management going to do?
They're going to sell.
They're going to dilute. They're going to do a GME.
They're going to sell shares in the market, bust the float out, make it larger.
They need cash.
For the money. I mean, to be honest and fair, I haven't looked at any of their shares outstanding or any of that. I don't know what the share count is or any of that. I've been playing it as a momentum play and I haven't even got a chance to do it. So I go where I see the money is, and there's more money to be made in AMC than any other ticker at the moment, from what I can tell.
All of these tickers that we were talking about, like GTII, there was a great time where it was a play. Fingers had its great moments. Mullins even had its moments. AMC's had its moments. At least with of all of the meme stocks, GameStop has a lot of cash on their balance sheet. That's fantastic. I don't hate GameStop, even though I talk about the financials. People love to twist that. Don't listen to that Denaro guy. He's going to tell you about the financials. We're not here for that. You need to have a grounding in reality so that you can make smart trades, is my opinion. And AMC doesn't have a lot of cash on the balance sheet, but they have increasing revenues. So there is a potential light at the end of the tunnel, but you still got to be smart on how you trade it. And I think Mediocre and I just both said in the last 30 minutes that we expect more dilution coming for AMC. Probably not an ATM, but likely debt for equity swaps as a part of restructuring that debt, which they must do. So
So
things are looking great in the industry. Revenues increasing. They'll have probably positive EBITDA, maybe even positive net earnings the next 2 quarters, positive operating cash flow. But they need that. This is all great to get the company set up to do a debt restructuring, and you could have some dilution as part of that. So
yeah, so what I like to do is when they announce a dilution, whether it's debt for equity or an ATM or whatever means they choose, right? That's gonna uh, add shares to the float, the tradable float, right? And it may not be immediately, okay, that's fine, depending on how they do it, right? But I still calculate that in when I calculate out um, to see what the value of the company is for me to trade for safe ranges, right? I'm looking at market cap right now because why? Because we don't have any earnings per share, we don't have um, any positive quarters, right? We got movies coming back. Yeah, things are looking up. We're doing great. I'm not bashing AMC. I'm just saying what I do. That's why I won't trade it if it's around a 2 billion or more market cap. I'll wait. When it gets there, I look. But that's just how I like to do it. And I look at supply and demand zones.
2024 says buy good stocks that will make money the next 19 years. If you've watched my channel and I don't recognize your name, so you're probably someone that I blocked here on a new name, or if it's your first time here, welcome. Let me just catch you up to what we do on this channel. 90% of my portfolio is blue chip stocks, and I would love to see you guys only buying profitable companies. We talk about this all the time. Have a portfolio full of companies with increasing revenues and increasing profits. That's what I would encourage you to do. Now, many of you like to speculate. I do too. Many of you like to momentum trade, day trade, short squeeze trade. I do too. But I do that with a small percentage of my account. Because if I lose it, it's not a big deal to me. How am I always happy? How do I sleep at night? Because I didn't bet the farm on a money losing company. I realize that it's a speculative trade. You guys have heard everybody say for 4 years, don't invest what you're not willing to lose. And then I see people crying on Twitter space calls because they lost their house. You got to recognize a play for what it is. When people say don't put in more than you're willing to lose, I don't want to hear you crying 3 years later that you lost everything. You didn't listen to the instructions. You didn't have good risk management. And I want to teach you guys how to have that. And it's going to take you unplugging from the pumpers to get that skill set, to get that emotional control over your portfolio. So 90% of my portfolio is blue chip long-term plays. I don't talk about them a whole lot on YouTube because nobody watches the videos. I'll put out videos on value plays where we make 40, 50% in a few months and 300 people watch the video. Meanwhile, they're all going broke on short squeeze plays, riding them into bankruptcy. And those videos, will get thousands of views. I don't know what to say. The reason I talk about AMC, number one, I like movies. Number two, I'm trading it. And number three, I think, if the box office recovers, this is going to be a fantastic play if you got a smart entry and if you manage your cost basis intelligently. And for some of you, we have a lot of friends that are just stuck in the play. And there's a lot of misinformation out there in AMC. And I feel like it is my obligation to be that one voice of sanity talking about this stock and talking honestly with you guys about the financials.
Trump for president. I appreciate you joining the channel, by the way. I just, it's a good channel. We talk, a lot. I like AMC for the fact that it's a good trade, right? Will the company come around and be profitable? I hope it does. I hope they're successful. I think they can be successful, right? But it's a hurting company, and so you got to be careful and understand what you're dealing with, and that's my thought on it. But I like AMC because I think I could make the most amount of money on it. And I check a lot of things every week, whether it's GameStop or DJT or HE or whatever the ticker is. Believe me, I look at them all. And AMC by far makes me more money every week than any of those.
After all the attention we've paid to this stock, and everything we know about it, from painstakingly reading financials, filings, company updates, analyst reports, credit reports, we're damn near experts on this stock. Does that mean that we get everything correct? No, but it's very easy to make smart trades on this stock if you're paying attention to the financials, know what management is likely to do, and then just look at a chart like this one and know what is a reasonable entry and exit on a week or over a longer term. And that gets to Six Sun's comment that he has here. Where do you see AMC going in the next couple of weeks? Mediocre, do you want to? I have thoughts, but I'm going to let Mediocre go first on this one.
What do I think is going to happen? Well,
let's
I
say
think,
between now and earnings, which should be around August 6th.
So that's 2 weeks away, right? So my thought for
let me just double check. Let's say 2.5 weeks.
Okay, perfect. So that leaves next week and the week after. So what I personally think from next week, and I don't know if this is going to be true, but I would suspect, and some may disagree with me, and that's fine. I would suspect a bounce down here at the $5 range, a bounce and maybe a run back up towards 550, and a rejection, and head back down for the following week, right? So by earnings, I think we're down around $5 range again. I just think that it's going to move in this range. It's kind of range bound, and that's what I look for, right? When can I buy in? When can I exit? Am I always right? No, but there's supply and demand right there on the screen for you guys. That's what I look at. So if you look at where we closed around $5. Do I think it can go to 450? It's possible, right? But it would take a lot of effort to get it down there.
And even if it does get down there, we have good support, good demand from buyers to buy it in that range.
Exactly. Somebody's going to buy it at 450, no doubt.
So that's kind of what I'm looking at too, Mediocre. I thought that this week we would end at around $5. I thought we would end under $5, but I see that we ended
at $4.99 today, Tony. I wanted more shares.
My screen says 501. What was it? Was it $4? Was it
$5? It was 501. I wanted $4.99, so because I sold puts and I wanted the shares at $5. I wanted more shares. Now I got to buy them at the open market, which is fine. I'll buy them at the open market. I don't care, but I like to buy them in this range, right? If I could buy shares, I want to buy them at $5, between 450 and $5, somewhere around that range, right? And maybe even a little more, but it is what it is. I think we get a bounce here and then we head back up, but I could be wrong. We could go to 450, and I'm okay with that either way. It doesn't matter to me. I'm going to make money either way. No matter what it does, I'm going to make money.
Hang on 1 second, Mediocre.
But I only make pennies, you guys. Don't worry about it. Right, Tony? Just pennies.
All right. What do I think is going to happen? Six Sun. I would expect, without any meme-related catalyst like Roaring Kitty, exactly what Mediocre said, that we're going to trade flat in this range all the way to August 6th. Sorry, I got to answer this text. So I'm in cash. I don't have any AMC shares at the moment. You guys know I got my shares. Some of them were sold off as covered calls in that run up in May. I had bought long call options that Monday when it started running. I got out in May, not because, if I didn't have covered calls, I would have sold in that run up anyways. But I've just been, I did buy back in a week or two later. I forget. I have to go back on the live streams or in Discord and look at my trades. but those got taken out by covered calls also. So I'm just sitting here with cash waiting for something on the chart to speak to me. And I know some of these guys have had in the Discord have had shares and have been selling covered calls. I've looked every week for the past couple of weeks at cash secured puts, which is my favorite way to get an entry back in the stock, but they haven't been paying a lot.
And it hasn't really happened, Tony, either, right? It's been tough to get shares selling cash secured puts. I've been trying myself, right? So I've also been buying at the open market and selling when I can, but it's been tough. These past 2 weeks have even been a bit difficult for me to make money. I mean, I've made money, don't get me wrong, but I like to have my shares at the cheapest possible price I could get them, right? So if I have shares that are too high and I think it's going to go lower, I'll exit and try and get a better position. That's what I did this week. I still made money this week, but I didn't. I didn't do the full week and lock my shares up for the full week. I had availability to make some plays, some decisions.
The good thing with being in cash is like if we break through this supply zone, if we break through the red zone, I can easily go in and buy shares. I'm up watching the market in pre-market every day till 7:00 at night. So it's not like I'm going to miss something. The most bullish thing that I'm looking at on the short-term horizon, though, we would need some unknown catalyst like Roaring Kitty coming back
Yeah,
and
where are you, Kitty?
affecting the meme basket, or mediocre the box office with Wolverine and Deadpool
Is that this weekend or next weekend, Tony?
next weekend.
Yeah.
So
What's this weekend? I'm hoping we get some news on this weekend to push the stock price back up, which I think we will get something, but I want to be able to sell up there and wait for it to come back and get back in. I think we get a pullback probably because of earnings, depending on what happens in earnings, right? But I don't know. Just my thoughts. I could be wrong.
I'm not overly negative on the stock. Let's put it that way. I'm just being cautious for the best possible entry. Does that make sense? Mediocre, like we're kind of range bound right now. And if I'm going to buy in this range, I want to buy when it's down in that green box. I have no pressure. Like I don't feel like as it's running up to 550, oh boy, I better get in or it's going to zoom to 1,000. I don't think like that. I'm looking at that red box saying it's going to sell off when it hits 550. And if it breaks through, then I get excited. Otherwise, I'm just waiting for it to hit that box and bounce down. That's how I spend every day analyzing this play. Is that, does that make sense, mediocre?
Absolutely. What do you got, the GME chart up? Somebody's asking about it.
That is AMC. We're going to pull up GME next because someone also asked, what do we think about GME? Let me put up the GME chart here. So I sold my GME in June on these run-ups, and I have not gotten back in because same reason, range bound. Can you see this chart, mediocre?
Oh, I can see, yeah.
So you can see where I sold on 6/6 at $60. I held a little bit, but then they announced the dilution that morning, and I had to exit the rest of my position. I luckily got out at a profit on that at 43.29, and I've just been waiting for something to happen. I guess I could have bought down here at $23, but I was thinking it would go down to 20, and it didn't quite hit there. The longer I see this consolidation in this zone, the more comfort I have that 22, 23 is a good price. And next time we come down there, I might buy some at 23. What are you thinking, mediocre?
I I agree with you. I think AMC or GameStop. I'm interested in it around 20 bucks. I'd like to get it lower, but I don't know if you will. What's the bottom wick on that?
The bottom wick is 22.31.
See, I'm waiting to see if it what happens with that demand that supplies blocks right there. Like what's going to happen. We're going back to that right now, as you can see on the chart.
And mediocre people say when we're covering stuff like this or we're covering the financials, they say we hate GameStop. I want to encourage you guys, if you're listening to anyone that is a GameStop YouTuber telling you that I hate GameStop, they are purposely lying to you. And you got to ask yourself, why are they doing that? They don't want you getting real information about this company. They don't want you getting intelligent ways to read the stock chart and take smart gains when it makes sense. They don't want you understanding the financials and the financial ratios. They only want to talk about the book value. They don't want to talk about anything else that we talk about that actually matters, like return on invested capital, return on assets, return on equity, discounted cash flows, all of the things that Wall Street is looking at. They don't want to talk about that because it'll ruin their narrative. So instead of helping to educate their audience, they just tell you Tony hates GameStop. I call bullshit on anybody that's saying that. I want people to make an educated trade.
Why would somebody hate GameStop? They got so much freaking cash in the balance.
It's fantastic that they have $4 billion in cash, but that does not matter to Wall Street. It matters to retail, but retail is being misguided by people telling them that it matters.
Right. It only matters when they do something with the cash.
Exactly. Every ratio that I just mentioned, none of them are affected by cash. Even earnings per share. At the bottom of your income statement, not affected by cash. That's why these GameStop YouTubers will only talk about book value. Oh, wow. So what? The book value is $10.34. Who cares? The stock's trading at 25. It's not under book value. So why are you talking about it? It's just dumb. Wall Street cares about earnings. How is the company positively utilizing that money that's on the balance sheet? When Larry and Ryan can figure out a way to utilize that money, then you'll see Wall Street get behind GameStop. Then you'll see the stock get a fair valuation from an analyst. Right now, what you have is potential.
Right. Same thing with HE. Look what HE did this week. Different situation, but different situation the same. Everybody was scared of HE. Why? Because of lawsuit. What was going to happen with the lawsuit? Blah, blah, blah. Everybody knew the company's worth $40 a share. Everybody knows that.
Well, right? That's what I was going to say, mediocre. You have potential with GameStop. So if these guys covering GameStop would just say, guys, I'm not going to talk about book value because, hey, let's be honest, the market cap is well above book value. So it's not a value play like when Roaring Kitty was looking at it in 2020. Let's stop talking about book value. I'm sorry I ever went there. If they would say that and just say, guys, we're going to roll the dice on $4 billion in cash on the balance sheet, I'd respect them. I would respect them because then at least you're honest. I believe in Ryan Cohen. I believe in the potential of $4 billion. Let's see what they do. And I'm okay buying it at 24 bucks. If they would be honest with their audience and just say that, then I'm cool. But they don't say that. They try and, look at this book value. Nobody freaking cares. Nobody on Wall Street cares about book value right now. They care about what is going to happen with that money. It's either going to be wasted or it's going to be put to intelligent use. And if it's put to intelligent use, then you could see analysts upgrade GameStop's price to somewhere in the 20s, maybe somewhere in the 30s. I don't know. Depends on what they tell us, what management tells us the return on that cash is going to be. That's why it's really important that we hear from management. Anybody also telling you, don't pressure them to say anything. They're cooking. Well, Okay, fair enough. Then don't expect Wall Street to upgrade your price either. Is that fair, mediocre?
Absolutely.
Don't get mad that Wall Street is not upgrading your price because management's not giving them any reason to upgrade the price. They're sitting on cash. Cash is useless for valuation.
Let me ask you guys a question. Let's say you took your whole portfolio and you put it in your your brokerage, and you didn't put it in, you didn't buy any stocks with it. It just sat in your brokerage.
What's your portfolio worth, mediocre? If you did
Exactly.
that,
Tell me. Tell me,
it's
is it
only
going to
worth
grow?
the cash.
Exactly.
Would Wall Street go in and say your portfolio book value is 25,000, therefore we're going to assign a price value of it of 75,000? Or do
I
you
knew
think
you were
they'd
going to
say
like
your
my analogy
portfolio is
there.
worth 25,000?
Exactly.
That's where GameStop is right now. They're worth what their assets minus liabilities is. They're worth book value, and there's potential that
To
you
be
can
worth
assign
more.
to that above and beyond that based
You
on
got to
your
make
belief
that
in
money
Ryan
work.
Cohen or what you think he's going to do, but you can't tangibly identify that yet.
It's the same thing with AMC, right? We absolutely need cash on the balance sheet. If we don't have cash on the balance sheet, we're done because we are not profitable. That's the difference, right? So I don't know. I mean, we have to generate cash. We need to generate cash to become profitable so our balance sheet will stay strong. We don't really have that. Well, we do. It's coming, right? But this earnings call is going to be bad, you guys. It's not going to be great. It's a loss. I mean,
Wilmer says, what do you think about Intel? I like Intel. I own some. I'm well in the green on Intel, and there will be some more content on this channel covering semiconductor stocks going forward. But for me, it's a long-term play. That's all I'm going to say right now. Let's see what else we got here. How could AMC's movement make you more than, say, a Tesla or GME's price movement? I don't know that AMC's movement necessarily that I would compare them to Tesla or GameStop. I don't. First of
not
all, I don't invest all my money just in one play. If I'm looking at momentum trades, swing trades.
so. What Ape's trying to get at, Tony, is what he's trying to figure out what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is dollar for dollar percentage gain wise, as far as premiums in the options chain. AMC is better.
When I look at Tesla mediocre, I mostly think I've traded Tesla guys over the past couple of years. If you've been around on this channel, I don't own any right now because I think it's way. I don't want to say overvalued, but let me pull the chart up here. It's really toppy on the chart. It is starting to come back down. 271. No, I have these Fibonacci levels drawn on here. Where did I last buy Tesla mediocre? I think it was around $100.
The problem with Tesla is its price is too high and the premiums aren't as much as you would make on AMC, dollar for dollar. Like I said, if you had 500 shares of Tesla, and I don't want to open up my brokerage account to look, but your premiums you would get from selling options would be, it would look like it's higher because the stock price is higher, but in actuality, percentage gain, you make more on AMC, dollar for dollar.
If
That's what
I'm
I'm.
feeling a certain way about Tesla and I want to take a short-term trade mediocre, I'm buying calls or puts and just day trading them.
Right, but that's not what he was asking me though. He was asking about why I think AMC I make more money.
Yeah, well, I mean, you got to ask yourself, could AMC go from $4 to $6 and make you 50%? And what's the likelihood Tesla's going to go up 50%? That's kind of how I look at it, mediocre.
Yes, I agree with you, Olin. You're right. That's why I don't play with them stocks. Why would I play with a stock that cost me 200 to get in, because say I'm selling cash secured puts, right? $200 or $5. You see what I'm saying? I invest far less money at $5 and get a higher percentage gain than I would on a higher stock. And that's why, believe me, I look at GameStop every week too. But mostly it's GameStop and AMC is the two best options premiums out there as far as selling options. The option buyer on these stocks really get hurt, to be honest with you guys. I won't lie to you. Whoever's buying call options on AMC or whatever, GameStop, you guys get hurt more the majority of the time, right? Like it doesn't necessarily move in your favor. You get theta burnt all the time. And the thing is when you're selling options, you're agreeing to buy the shares, yeah. But if it never ends up in your favor, it still doesn't matter. You get the premium. You get to keep that money. That's what I look at.
Hussein says that he's doomed. His cost basis on AMC is $38 in one account and $16 in another. We've talked about this scenario many times over the past 6 months, mediocre, right? And
Yeah.
we've had people in Discord that were in similar situation. Most of them have fixed their position by now. Not all of them. It depends on your willingness to do something about it.
I had somebody at 60. They're at 20 right now.
Or ability. You had someone that was at 60 cost basis and they're at 20 now. Still a long way from $5. I get it, but
they're working their
a hell of a lot better than 60. And it does take, it takes the willingness to be actively in control of your portfolio. If you're just going to sit around and wait, you may never get to even.
Depending on who you ask, right?
Depending on who you ask. Matt says, what's the green box on GME? So the green box on GameStop is kind of like where I see the support levels, or what we call the demand zone for GameStop.
Buying opportunities.
Where there's demonstrated support for the stock, where you're likely to have buyers come in. Now, if it breaks below that, obviously you got to pull back and look and see where is the next level of support. But rather than just drawing a hard line, I'll do a video for you guys this weekend on how to draw a supply and demand zone. I don't have them. I was just roughing this in for a video that I put out today in the shorts tab on my channel. But there is a specific way to draw in these boxes. And there's several different ways to draw them. None of them are incorrect. It just depends on your risk of being accurate is the nicest way to say it. But that's kind of like where I feel comfortable buying in, is what I'm trying to demonstrate with the green box. So I was thinking a couple weeks ago it was heading down to 20. I told you guys I'd be happy to buy GameStop at 18 to 20 because I think it's a really dumb short below that based on the potential of $4 billion cash and a surprise announcement for management. But now we're getting a more long-term perspective, and looks like we're coming back down to test that green box again. I probably will take a nibble at it in that area and see what happens. Again, I don't hate GameStop. I hate paying too much for something.
Olin Smith, I agree with you, my friend. That's a good way to knock your dollar cost average down quick, right? You're talking about a stock that's trading right now at $5. I mean, I'm not telling you to do that. You got to take care of your own financial stuff, but I kind of like AMC right here at $5. I'm willing to buy it here. You know, that doesn't mean I'm right, but I like it down here.
Anya said, in layman's terms, how do you draw the supply and demand? It's difficult to type it out. Anya, someone asked me in the comments on my channel, how do you draw it? Let me do a video for you guys tomorrow, and I'll walk through the 3 ways to draw a demand box and a supply box. It'll be easier for me to make sure that I don't miss anything and put out a 3 or 4 minute video. It's
Yeah, and
not
it depends on
difficult,
your
but
platform, right? That's the problem too. Is I was doing classes in my Discord, but the problem is everybody's on a different platform, right? And to get everybody on one platform, whatever. So it's a it's going to be different per platform on how to exactly do it, but the overall stuff Tony's going to tell you in general on how to do it is going to
you're
be helpful.
basically, Anya, I mean, in simple terms, you're looking at the tail, the top wick or the bottom wick in a support zone in either the top or the bottom of a candle. But I want to spend uh, more than a couple seconds and make sure that I get everything in the video and I don't miss anything. So I'll put that on my agenda for tomorrow. Six on what is LAC? I'm not familiar with that ticker. 2024. Six on says, let's say you have 700 AMC at $5. When it goes to 6, you sell 300 of them. When it goes back to 5, you rebuy those 300. What do you think about that strategy? That's just momentum trading, and we've had a lot of people fix their portfolio by doing that. Six
I
mediocre. Do
like.
you want to expand on that at all?
Oh, let me read his comment. See shares when it goes 6. I mean, I don't hate that strategy. It's just I don't trade that way, but some people do, and that'll help you lower your dollar cost average, but it's going to take you time, you know.
Why?
But
What do you mean by you don't trade that way? I thought you were momentum trading AMC.
right, but he's talking about only selling 300 of his shares.
You would sell all of them, is what you're saying.
Absolutely.
I wanted to bring that out. I wanted to bring that out so people could hear it. Now,
Absolutely, Cody.
I personally don't, I don't regularly trade AMC in that fashion. We have people in the Discord that do. I'm mostly looking to get in on a really sick low entry by selling cash secured puts and then ride them as long as I can selling covered calls. So that's kind of my strategy. I'm not trying to momentum trade it, but if I got in at 450 and it ran up to 8 or 9 out of the blue or something I wasn't expecting, depending on what the reason it was, right? You got to understand your catalyst. If it was a Roaring Kitty tweet, I'd probably sell my shares and wait for it to come back down. If it was some company specific news, then I'd have to evaluate that news and see, do I keep holding here or what?
So
You know
Tony,
what I'm
his
saying?
next question was he would hold them in case it keeps running, but see that's the difference, right? If there was still momentum to keep pushing it up, then I wouldn't have sold. You know what I mean? You have to you have to be able to read the chart and know when the momentum's kind of done.
And that is what we do all day in the Discord, guys. When things are running, we got the chatter going in the voice chats, and I don't see enough of you in the voice chats. But we are talking about where do you think we're all sharing the mind meld? Where do you see it topping out at? And everybody kind of makes up their own mind. We're not giving instructions, but we're sharing group think.
Right.
And
Because everybody's got something to contribute, right? Like, I mean, I think I'm okay at trading. I don't think I'm the best. I think I'm mediocre, right?
I'll
You
be
know,
right back, mediocre. I'm going to let you carry this conversation for a
but
sec.
I think Tony's, financials are good, and I appreciate him. So, I like to share information with Tony a lot. I like to share information with Richie. I like to share information with, Super Steve. And there's a lot of people I like to share information with, and that's kind of where I go with it, and I give them the information that I have, and we see where it goes. Um, there was a comment I wanted to read also. Let me go find that quickly. It was Olin says, every time I say no to my friends to go out for a drink, food, or trips, I imagine how much on average I spend and I put towards the market. And that's smart, right? Like I don't really go out and drink a lot, and I don't like to waste money. I mean, I'll go out, I'll take my wife out, I'll go to a nice restaurant, whatever. But if you want to go pound beers with me at the bar, it's just not going to happen. I'll go have a couple beers with you in the backyard, but I'm not going to go pay $9 for a fucking beer. It ain't going to happen. You know, so I don't know. I mean, I do go out, but I go to where I want to go. I spend the money the way I want to spend it. But I save a lot of money. And when I save money, I do exactly what he says. I put it in the market, play the game with it, you know? See what else we got. We got. So Six Sun says, Tony, how do I join voice chat? Are you Six Sun? Are you in the Discord? If you're in the Discord, on the left hand side, you'll see voice channels. You just click on there, and you could join a voice channel. Let me see what else we got. Feesmo says, I like to make a few hundies if AMC closed above 550 at the close on Friday, one of these weeks. I agree with you, buddy, but, you know, that's why I sell 550 call contracts. Like I buy my shares less than 550 and I'm selling 550s. Let's get a close above 550 and see what happens, you know? But when it happens, then I got to start selling 550 puts and see where we end up. It's the whole game I like to play. Welcome back, buddy.
Had to grab a refill too.
I need one. You mind if I grab one real quick?
Hey, let me pour this one so I can read, and then I'll let you go grab one.
You got it. Olin says, learn RSI, MACD, and volume changes. Also, current events and sympathy thought out. A specific type of market helps you gauge your play. Well said. I agree with Olin on that, too.
I was going to follow up as I was leaving Mediocre. You were having a good conversation with the folks there about selling part or selling all. And it comes down to, I'm sure you already talked about this, but understanding what is the catalyst driving the price and
exactly, and
looking at the chart and then making some decisions like HE this week when it ran from $8 to $18, understanding the catalyst of what was driving that. If you thought, hey, they're off the hook, they have no financial liability, maybe you sell some at 18, take that $10 per share profit and let the rest ride to 40. But if you read through the press release and he said they didn't really get off the hook financially, this thing could head back down, then maybe you sell all of it, or maybe you sell 80% of it and keep a little bit. That takes some skill, and it takes sometimes some very quick reading to understand what's going on. And so like Anya sold all of hers, I'm out of the play now. And what happened today, analysts put out a price target of HE back again to $9 Mediocre. I don't know if you saw that. He said they're not off the hook yet. This thing's going to go back down.
Which is why I didn't jump on that run.
Right.
I didn't want to get caught. I'm glad Anya did and got some money. Don't jump in too soon again, Anya. Just wait it out. Be patient. Patience, just like our buddy says there, Warren Buffett. He knows what's up. Ape Rage. I mostly do weeklies. I don't really mess with monthlies. Sometimes I'll do, bi-weeklies, but I'm mostly doing weekly options. I don't mess with anything other than that, really. I'll be right back. 1 minute, you guys.
I'm catching up on some comments here. I see you guys were talking about Tesla. Olan Smith says Tesla has too many weird things going on, more of a psychological play. It's a great trader's play. I don't even mind, I see a lot of people making money on Tesla trading it in this range, but you got to be very vigilant, and you got to have stop losses, and you got to understand when news comes out how it's going to affect it. I've seen people make a lot of money on a day at Tesla, even in this range, a day or two, and I've seen them lose a lot of money. So for me, it's hands down the best EV company out there. It's blowing the doors off of the competition. But for me, if I'm going to long-term hold it, I'm going to want to get in at a much lower price. If I'm going to day trade it, swing trade it, momentum trade it, then don't ask me what I think, because what I think doesn't matter. What I think is it's overvalued. But if you're a good trader, you can trade it in this range. Just look for the right point on the chart to buy in, wait for a bounce. And then you got to, what's your time frame? Are you trading it for the day, for the week? It's way too high right now for a long-term hold, in my opinion. Not meaning, I'm not saying it's not going to go higher than the most recent high, but if I'm going to be able to sleep at night and comfortably hold it, I want to grab it on a sick dip because of some catastrophic news where people get mad or angry and it had nothing to do with the fundamentals of the company.
Oh, I kind of want to talk about something else real quick too, Tony. Not saying that this is going to happen, right? But I'm being cautious on any stocks right now, really, because of our political climate, right? Like we don't really know what's going to go on with the sitting president right now and all that, and how the market is going to react to that, right? There's a lot of, I'm not trying to go that route, but there's a lot of people asking him to step aside and not run and this, that, the other thing, whatever. I don't really care about that. But that could have an effect on the market, is what I'm trying to say. So that's another thing to be thinking about. And that's an unexpected thing, right? Like it could just happen and then whatever. So
someone asked, what do you think about Sirius stock, ticker SIRI? It's been a while since I looked at it. I can't remember if I was looking at it as it was coming down or when it was around 245, but whatever I saw at that time, I talked myself out of buying it. Do you remember talking about Siri mediocre in like the last month or two?
Yeah, we looked at it. It wasn't doing good, Tony, from what I remember.
Yeah, we looked at it. We kind of collectively said, yeah, there's probably better opportunities. I mean, it ran from 245 to $4. That's not a bad trade. I haven't looked at the financials in a month and I don't remember them, but I do remember that I decided not to mess around with it.
Yeah, we looked at the financials and everything. I don't remember what they were, but it wasn't. It didn't suit us.
I do see mediocre that at some point I drew in this green line. Whenever we were talking about it, I drew in a line at which below I should consider buying it. Can you see this chart?
Yes.
It must have been before this. And I haven't been paying attention. It went below my line and I don't have alerts set. You can see my alerts aren't on. I might have bought some. Whatever we decided, mediocre, I said I'm not buying it above 370. That's what that green line is when I put that on a chart. So I just don't remember at what point we were looking at it. But yeah, I mean, for me, it would have been a good buy here. I mean, clearly I put that line there for a reason.
Throw Cruzmo's two comments up there.
All right. I'm trying to catch up. Let me zoom all the way down. Cruzmo says, to not be constantly paper hands, but be a profitable trader is surprisingly very difficult. Takes nerves of steel and being able to read charts and indicators really well. Guys, I put out a great video last weekend. Took me about 8 hours to make that video. You know how many people have watched it, mediocre?
100.
A couple hundred.
Yeah.
One of the best videos you're going to want to watch about how to think about analyzing stocks. both fundamentally and technically. And I gave you guys a book recommendation.
And non-emotionally.
Non-emotionally, not listening to the pumpers and the conspiracy. Like, how do you identify good stock that Wall Street is going to get behind, like the next Nvidia, and push it way up? Nobody wants to watch those videos, but the secrets are out there. I talk about them a lot. It's just not popular content, and I don't really understand why everybody wants to mortgage their house on money losing companies. Is it desperation that y'all want to be rich overnight? I mean, you
Because
got, okay, that's fine. I get the temptation, but with that potential of getting rich overnight, it comes massive risk.
exactly.
You can't mortgage the house on that stuff because you could lose it all.
You got to understand what you're trading, right? Like I could have took advantage of HE. Okay, I'll tell you the story. HE got pushed down to 7 and change. I forget exactly where it was. It doesn't really matter. The news broke about all the information. Tony and I read the information. I know Anya read it too. Anya's the one who sent it to me. Thank you, by the way, Anya. So I read through it with a group of people, right? And so the next morning, I was going to get up, jump in, and enter the play before a move really happened. Except I was extremely late getting in the next morning. I didn't come in until like 11 o'clock. I wasn't here for market open, all that shit. So I had missed the play. Well, it's already up, an amount that you don't know if it's going to hold that range because the report didn't just give them, full immunity. That's not what the report said, right?
Right.
They still have risk of lawsuit, right? So it's like where's the value in the play? It was the value was at 7 and change for sure, no doubt. And good on Anya for getting the bulk of that move. I'm happy for her, but for me to jump in late, I don't do that. I'll just rather sit out and wait. I'm good because I know my money is safe, and I'd rather have safe money and be in plays that are consistent and making percentage gain. I make good percentage every week, and everybody in the Discord knows that. I make good percentage every week, and I don't need to hit a home run every single time. I will catch an HE or another one. It's going to happen. It's bound to happen, right? Over time, but I'm not going to jump into a play that could devastate my account. Is what I'm saying.
When we first started trading HE mediocre, here's that green line again.
Yeah.
That I drew, and I said, when it drops below here, I want to start buying. And I drew that line at 10, and I was buying on these big red candles going down.
Yeah, you were underwater. I remember.
I was buying because it was getting to a point where I said this is becoming, the lower it goes, the more risk free it is. It's never going to be 100% risk free because they could go bankrupt.
Right.
But the cheaper it got, the more comfortable I got adding, and then we got 2 different periods of good news.
So to be clear with this account, you guys, first of all, it's a profitable company that had a horrific accident, due to weather, right? But what is their thing, right? So they have lawsuit risk as their problem, but they're a profitable company. But is bankruptcy going to happen or is it not going to happen? That's what you're betting on, right?
And I took a position in HE, and I was selling covered calls on that position for several weeks before it ran up. But again, I'm not, I'm betting 1 or 2% of my portfolio on it. It's a potential bankruptcy play. I'm not trying to get rich off of a company that has 140 lawsuits on it.
But I would much rather put my money in that, Tony, than something like Mullen or.
Right. What we knew, mediocre, is if they got good news relative to that lawsuit, that this thing was going to pop up violently.
Exactly.
Right? Mullen's, from a Mullen to have a change in direction, they're going to need to report a quarter of massive revenue and massive operating profits. And look at any EV company, that's just not happening. It's not happening on startups. So Mullen's toast, as far as I'm concerned. Look at this damn Mullen chart, by the way, mediocre. It's pretty bad. They have they've got a dilution agreement that they sold to somebody to raise money. It's going down 7 to 9% a day. This has the flavor of a BBBY.
Yeah.
And this is not naked shorting. This is not the evil shorts. This is dilution happening on a daily basis. That is what's driving this price down. And it's going to keep going down until they file Chapter 11, in my opinion. That's my guess.
So we try not to put our money into plays that are going to hurt our portfolio, for one, right? There's got to be a reason to put your cash into it. That's what we're trying to get you guys to understand.
What about if they have pretty cars?
I don't care. Is they going to make me money, Tony, or am I going to lose money? That's what I want to know. I don't want to buy everybody in the U.S. a fucking car. I want to buy myself a car. You know what I mean? I don't want to pay for the lights to be on at the fucking factory. That's not my job.
Did I check out HUMA? I did not. Monkey Tamer Ape Heavy says, what do we think of the Redbox bankruptcy? I remember talking about it. I'm sure I have a video or two up about it, telling you guys, get the fuck out while the getting was good. Pardon my French.
So what happened was they got bought out by Chicken Soup.
Yeah.
And I guess it didn't succeed. So I guess Chicken Soup is closing down and taking out the red boxes.
I think they're filing Chapter 11 now too, aren't they? CSSE?
I'm not sure. Yeah, remember I was in that, and I had to cut my losses in that. Yep, I tried. That was not going to come back. And I used that one's a good one, Tony, because you had analysts saying it was worth $20.
Here's what I remember saying about Redbox when it was squeezing, FOMO run, whatever you want to call it. What I remember telling you guys, and you can go back and watch my videos on my channel, you're going to get, if you stay in this play, if you didn't sell in that run up and you are just writing it down because you think another squeeze is coming, you're going to get Chicken Soup shares that are currently valued at a fraction of the price of your Redbox shares. So the only logical thing to presume is that Redbox is going, because of arbitrage, it's going to be driven down to the price of Chicken Soup shares. It's a mouthful. And that's exactly what happened. And when that conversion happened of Redbox to Chicken Soup, everybody got fucked because the conversion was horrible for Redbox holders considering the current price of Redbox. That's why I said you got to get out. Now, if you want to wager, that another squeeze is going to happen, hey, do whatever you want. But if that doesn't happen, you're going to get wrecked. And you can see the chart here. And how did I know all that? Because I read the documents. I read the documents about how the conversion was going to happen, how it was going to go down. And I wasn't bought into a short squeeze play because the shorts can read the same documents as me and they know exactly what's going to happen. They're not scared. They weren't scared. It's a long dead play. Let's pull up CSSE. And then I want to talk about another stock, what I bought today, CSSEQ. Yeah, so I guess they filed bankruptcy, mediocre.
Gone.
Ouch! 1 penny. 1 frickin' penny.
Show that to Gus tomorrow. Oh man.
I'll show you what I bought today. Some of y'all are going to think I'm crazy. Charles Schwab.
You bought yourself some Schwab?
I did buy some Schwab. Not this. I got the wrong ticker. SC Schwab. I want. Damn it! What's the friggin' ticker? SCHB.
I'll look it up.
I didn't add it to my watch list. I can't remember the ticker. SCHW.
Yeah, SCHW.
There we go. Let's see how I did today. I thought I put my buy price in here.
Dude, why did it get smashed like that from the...
Because of earnings mediocre.
Oh,
I did. Here, it's way down here. So I bought it at $61.94 today. And if we go back and look at the long-term chart. So here's what I said in the Discord today. If you're in the VIP, I post all my trades as I do them, along with my thoughts. And because I'm not live streaming every day, but since you guys are here, you get a free conversation. The next, this was a little bit early for me, but you can kind of see this support level right here going back in February. So I felt okay adding a little bit here. It could continue to go down. And so my next level that I'd like to buy some, if it drops, is in here around 48 to 50 bucks. And if it keeps going down beyond where I bought at today, I'm not going to buy more tomorrow, Monday. I'm not going to buy more Tuesday. I'm not going to buy more Wednesday. I'm going to wait and see if it retraces all the way down here or where it settles out.
patience, right?
This is not a bullish chart. Look at this. But you can see it's starting to decelerate. It could form a new base in this level. But I was looking at the weekly. I was like, there's a little bit of support here, but I don't know if it's going to hold. So that's what I told them in the VIP. I'm going to start a position here, but I'm not going all in. I'm going to hold some cash aside in case Schwab drops down to 48 or 50, and then I'll buy more down there. And then I'm just going to wait. Whether I wait a year or 5 years, it doesn't matter. Schwab is not going anywhere.
No, exactly.
And I'll try and do a video on this one this weekend also. But mediocre, they had earnings on July 16th. The market didn't like it. It is my early estimation that the market is punishing them a little bit.
I actually like Schwab because they picked up Thinkorswim, and I think Thinkorswim is a great platform.
I think it was a market overreaction, but I could be wrong, which is why I didn't buy a full, I didn't allocate everything that I would want to Schwab today, because I might be too early. Carlos says, anybody bet on space? We have some traders that are watching space. Have you heard any chatter on it recently, mediocre?
Is it space or what's the name of the company?
What was the other one that Rolf was looking at? It wasn't space. It was it lunar?
Lunar.
I get all these astro. Lunar is a different company. Space used to be really interesting back in 2021. Every time they had a launch, you'd get these big spikes. And I tried playing it the fourth time. And well, as you can see, there's no fourth spike mediocre. We had boom, boom, boom. I was like, the next one I'm going to get. And I bought in right before launch and nothing happened.
I hate when that's my luck right there.
I had the best plans. So I have not looked at space since then. And since then, it's dropped from $564 down to $622.
I don't know how Tony keeps track of everything because I got to be honest with you guys. I have to take notes on shit I'm interested in, and I still forget. Like I'll take a fucking note on something I'm looking at and I like, and I'll forget about it.
Well, because you have a real job, mediocre, and I'm just sitting here looking at stocks 14 hours a day. So probably just from the sheer amount of hours I'm looking at this stuff, some of it sticks in my memory.
Yeah, I hate when I miss plays when I knew about them ahead of time. That shit pisses me off. That gets me fired up, Tony. Because all I can see is the money that I didn't make because I knew about it and I didn't act.
But I forget stuff too. And like I probably would have bought Siri if I had properly followed my protocol. Usually when I draw a line saying, hey, if it gets under this price, go in and buy at least a little bit because you already did the work. You looked, I'm talking to myself, Tony, you did the work. You looked at the financials. You spent hours looking at this. You drew a damn line, set an alert so that at one day in the future, if it ever gets below that, you have a reminder to come back and look at it again. And I forgot to set the alert on Siri. So
Well, that's not my problem. It's not an alert issue, Tony. I could. It's a not being able to be in at the right time because I got too much shit going on. You know.
yeah,
You know what I go through. So
I know. I lived that life for a long time, mediocre. Having a full-time job, having multiple jobs plus school, plus the military. It took me a long time to get here.
congratulations, APD. I like it. I don't know what kind of options trade it was, but 400%. That's a sweet profit.
400%. You know what scares me? APD, when we make a fabulous trade like that on our first trade, I'm just going to warn you. And what's that?
Don't expect it.
No, what's that guy that has the day trading channel, mediocre? They got the ponytail.
Oh, Ross Cameron.
Yeah. Ross said the most dangerous trade that an option trader can have is their first trade is a massively winning one or something to that effect.
Yeah.
Because then you start thinking that every option trade you're going to make 400%. So
Yeah,
as long as, look, celebrate the win. Congratulations. That is beautiful, but that is not normal. So as long as you know that, why do I say that? Because 30 years of trading options. Every time I get greedy and think that I'm going to hold one for over 100% gain, like half the time I should have taken the 100% or even the 50%. And I get greedy and I hold it too long and it drains down to zero.
I'll tell you guys a story. An options trade. This was last week. Totally, it was Friday too. Totally pissed me off. First of all, my account is we'll have this conversation too because Tony and I had a conversation about this in the Discord. But pattern day trade rule, right? So you're only allowed 3 day trades a week, and so I had used all my day trades, right? But I knew the SPY was going to move, so I said shit, and so I threw $88 at it, $88. I don't even remember how many contracts I had, but the stock moved in my favor, and I knew it was going to, and I was doing great, and I'm like, let's go, baby. All we need to do is close here. guess what happened? I could have closed my position, right? And then they would have PDT'd my account, which means if my account ever went under 25,000, I'd have to bring it back up to 25,000 before I could really trade. They make it difficult. So I'm like, what if I ever need to pull money? I can't do it in this account, right? It was my cash account. But anyway, the fact of the matter is, I didn't want to get PDT'd, so I had to let the option expire, and it expired useless. That's 97% of the time. That's what happens.
There were people mediocre that were loaded to the gills with call options on GameStop this week because of the mania that was going on social media, Reddit, Twitter, the pumper channels. And I saw a guy post on Wednesday, I think, maybe pre-market Wednesday, that his call options were worth like $1.2 million. And then what happened after that? Fucking got drained.
Mm-hmm.
When you're up, guys, I want you to get in the habit of taking some profits.
Absolutely. You got to take profits.
Which is,
for me, I only risked $88. That's a drop in a bucket. It's nothing, right? I'm like, it is to some people. I don't mean to say it like that, right? Like it is to some people, but to me, it was an $88 bet. It went in my favor that I could not capitalize on. That's the part that pissed me off, right? Like I watched it all happen. I could have capitalized on it, but the PDT rule to me was not worth it. And that's why I didn't do
it. Trump.
Take your profits, though.
2024 says, I have not done options. I don't ever want my videos or these live streams to be construed as encouraging you guys to do options. What we say all the time is, do not trade options until you've thoroughly understood them, because you will lose money.
Absolutely.
But I do have a playlist on basic options education and the wheel trading strategy. And included in that is a video on how to paper trade options. So while you're learning, while you're reading, while all this new terminology is trying to sink into your brain and make sense, you can paper trade and see if you're getting it. And then once your success rate is over 55 or 60%, because you're never going to have 100% success rate on options. Once your success rate is making you profits on paper trades, then start putting a little money into it. But again, even when I'm doing options trading, it's like a speculative trade. Like if I'm doing a short squeeze trade, just buying stock on AMC, I'm not loading my entire portfolio with call options on anything.
Yeah,
it's a percentage. It's a small percentage, because you lose some, and I don't want to end the week with hurt feelings because I overcommitted. Hey, I mean, if you like to gamble and you're right, I'll pop some champagne for you. But, you know, what's the downside if you're wrong? If you load the boat on call options, $30 call options for GameStop, and then you hold them all the way to today. How'd that work out? I hate, it hurts my heart to see people lose money on bullshit due diligence and get tricked into loading up on all these call options, and then they lose it all. It makes me sad, and it makes me angry at the people putting out that nonsense.
Carlos, that's not necessarily true. It depends on what strike price you're picking, right? So I choose safety over more money. So in my eyes, it's easier, it's safer, and I have less money at risk with AMC than GameStop because of the price difference. That's what I'm saying. So percentage-wise, what I make on AMC for amount invested is more than what I would make on GameStop. That's what I mean.
The premiums have been a lot better for GameStop, though, right? Mediocre in general.
Yeah, the premiums they look higher, yes. But if you take $500, for example, and you could take that 500 and put it in a cash secured put on GameStop, right? I'm not sure what that'll get you, but whatever it is, if you took that same money and you put it in AMC, AMC would pay you more in premium than you would make in GameStop. Not by much, but it would pay you more. Believe me, I check every single week.
Trump says what he's doing works for him because he's driving with options. You'd have to watch the stock daily. That is a good point. You got to know what your capability is to watch stuff. Like, don't day trade if you can't be in front of the screen all day.
So
Don't
it depends
day
on
trade stocks.
what your agenda is as far as options, right? Like, I sell options on Monday, and I don't have to look at it at all.
Right. Go watch our wheel. Go watch my wheel strategy videos. And the next one that I'm doing this weekend is on part 1 to part 3 of the wheel, which is selling covered calls. And this is what we do on the weekend. We chat about the stocks we're running the wheel on, and we kind of talk about where we're going to sell covered calls for the next week. We'll typically sell those covered calls on Monday, and then we're done. We're done trading options for the week. And then we just got to wait and see if we're right or not on Friday. So if you're doing that if you have hundreds of shares of something, you can be running the wheel on it, set your play on Monday morning when the market opens, and hope you were right by Friday. You either made money, hopefully you made money by keeping your shares and gaining extra income from the premium of selling those covered calls. That's kind of the goal.
So for today, for example, if you look at where AMC closed, right? I wanted $4.99. Why? Because I sold cash secure puts for $5. So I wanted those shares at $5. I could have bought at the open market at $4.97 when it went below, but if it never made it there, say it only made it to $5.10, I still got to keep the premium. You see what I'm saying? So we happen to go below 5 today, but we don't always go below 5. So if it only went to 5.10, and it never went below 5, I would have still kept the premium. It closed at 5.01. I still got to keep the premium, right? But I didn't get the shares. I wanted $4.99 because if it closes at $4.99, I get the shares and the premium.
I can tell you,
cash back.
Mediocre. I'm thinking like right now, as I consider my weekend and the conversations that we're all going to have in the Discord about what we're going to do next week. I'm kind of thinking like 450 cash secured puts on AMC might be a good conversation starting point for next week.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I've been trying to sell 450s for a while, but I just didn't think it would get there yet. And, look how long it took us to get back to 5.
For those of you that don't trade options, selling a cash secured put, like if I do that on Monday morning, I'm going to have to look and see what the premiums are when the market opens, but and what the price direction's doing. But let's say I am able to sell them for $23 per contract. That's money I get right away on Monday morning, however many contracts I sell.
Let's just say that
and then if AMC closes the week above 450, that's just free money to me. If it closes under 450, then I'm going to let the contracts exercise, typically most of the time, and because I'm willing to buy AMC at 450, and I will own the shares then, 100 shares for every contract that I sold at $4.50.
So let's say right now, for sake of argument, it's trading at $5, right? The market's closed. I know it's Friday night, but let's pretend it's Monday morning. If we open up, we're trading at 5.10 in the pre-market. Okay, we open up 9:30. We're at 5.15 for sake of argument. You have $450 sitting in your account that's just sitting there doing nothing. Why not? I'm not telling you to do this, but you could take that 450, turn around and sell a 450 put on AMC, collect premium, so your $450 is not just sitting there doing nothing in your account. It's working for you.
I would take that a step further, mediocre. If you have that 450 sitting there and you're telling yourself if AMC would just go to 450, I'd buy another 100 shares.
There you go, even better.
That's kind of how I think about it, because you need to be willing to buy the stock. It's like, if only then, if only it would go to 450, I'd use this money to buy AMC. If you're not thinking that, then the other thing you could be thinking is, what can I do with this 450? There might be something else better you could do with it. But if you're telling yourself, I got this cash sitting here, and if only it would go to $4.50, I would buy it right now, then sell the cash secured put, because you're waiting for the stock to come down. Go ahead and make money while you're waiting.
Exactly. You gonna buy the stock anyways, right? So why not make something on it instead of having your money sit there not doing anything? I mean, if you're willing to buy the stock anyways, you what a cash secured put is you're agreeing to buy the stock at $4.50. Whether it gets there or doesn't get there, you get the premium.
That
If it
is
gets there, you get the premium and the shares. If it doesn't get there, you get to keep the premium. You get your $450 back at the end of the week.
this year, 2024, like 90% of the times that I've owned AMC, it's been from selling cash secured puts. I have done a couple open market buys, but most of the time I'm selling puts, and it ends the week just right under my strike price, and I buy the shares on Friday. My broker, forces the buy, and then Monday morning I sell calls.
Exactly.
Turn around and make money again.
Yep. Oh, I bought them at 450. I'll sell calls at 550 then. How about that? And I'll keep doing that until it gets close to 550, and then I'll say, oh, maybe I still need to sell the 6 or 650.
Yeah, then you got to look at, why is it running up, and
Exactly.
or maybe this week I don't sell calls because it's looking kind of squeezy, mediocre.
But if you want to own the shares at 450, and you end up with the shares at 450, and you'd be happy to get rid of them at 550 if it would just move there, then pull back, right? That's what you're looking at. Why not sell the call? Sell the 550 call. Take the premium. If it doesn't get there, you get to keep the premium in your shares.
I've always done this on every stock in my portfolio that I have over 100 shares on, but mediocre, I never did it on AMC from 2021 through the end of 2023. And I just kick myself now, like, all of the income that I could have made doing that.
Yeah.
But I had to shake off that this thing's going to squeeze tomorrow thought, and just start treating AMC like any other stock. And I guess that's kind of what I want to convey to you guys, is maybe you consider treating GameStop or AMC like any other stock. There's money sitting on the table waiting for you to take it. But you do have to assume the risk that it could run up to, like GameStop, run up to 60. And what if you had a $30 call that you sold? You're going to lose your shares at 30. That's the risk. You got to be good with that. But what do we say, mediocre? Out of 52 weeks, how many weeks are you going to lose your shares?
It's not a lot. I mean, I lose mine more than anybody because I'm very risky. Right?
You're selling your calls at close strikes, right?
I'm greedy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But for your average trader, you might get those unexpected run-ups only once or twice a year. And so 2 weeks you lose your shares, 50 weeks you're making money. The 2 weeks you lose your shares, you just wait for it to come back down and you buy them back.
Look at Dana. She never loses her shares. You know what I mean? I mean, it depends what your objective is. I'm making money. I'm not underwater. I have all my money. I'm profitable, right? So I'm profitable every week.
Mediocre. Do you think that the short hedge funds are trying to make us lose our shares so that they can resell us counterfeits?
No, I don't. They keep paying me a lot of money a week. I'm just going to tell you guys that. Okay, I'm making good money every week. I'm happy to do it.
Six Sun says, "What's the difference between buying puts Buying puts and selling puts. That is a great question and a very
Yeah.
commonly misunderstood. People hear the P word and they get all butt hurt and they,
Yeah.
oh, you're a short. You mentioned the put word. No, buying puts is betting. It's two things. You're betting on the price to go down. So either you're negative on the stock and you want to make money on it to go down, or you're holding a considerable position, but you're worried that it is going to go down and you're hedging your position like any institution would do.
Right.
It's risk management. Depends on how do you want to view it. If you're
Exactly.
holding shares and you say, I want to keep holding these shares, but I really am worried that things are going to go badly here over the next couple months, I'm going to sell puts so that if the price drops, that's my insurance where I'm going to make money and I can still hold my shares and not lose any sleep.
Okay,
That's
now hold
called,
on. I want to add to that, Tony.
huh?
I want to add to that for everybody to help them with some of the Greeks, right?
All
So
right.
when you,
Well, should I explain selling puts first or do you want to interject first?
I want to interject and stay on selling,
All right.
on buying puts,
All
right?
right. Buying puts. Go ahead.
So when we buy a put, let's talk about Greeks, right? You have theta. Tony, tell them what theta is.
Theta is your time decay.
Time decay. Okay, so when you're buying a put, your your theta is working against you, right? Time is not on your side. You need the stock to move in the direction downward rapidly to gain a profit. If it doesn't happen rapidly, time decay starts kicking in and eating that option, depending on how far out your option is, right? Like, strike date of expiration matters. But for the sake of argument, theta works against option buyers. Now go ahead. Let's move on to the
Yeah,
other side.
if I was buying puts as a hedge for my position, I'd be buying them months out, not next week, because of theta. You want it's going to be more expensive to buy that insurance, but you're not going to get eaten up by theta. The theta curve is exponential. So the more time you can add onto your put, like I want a 90-day or 180-day insurance policy because I'm worried in the next 30 days it might tank. Add some time to it. And if you're wrong, if it doesn't tank, you can dump that put, you can buy it back, and you probably won't be out much money. But if you're trying to buy it for next Friday and what you're worried about doesn't happen, then you just lost all your money buying that put. So again, buying puts is either you're bet you don't own the stock and you're just betting on it to go down. You're pessimistic, or you're hedging as insurance the risk that a stock you're holding and want to keep holding goes down, and you'll profit. Your profit will mostly or exactly offset the losses on your shares. That's buying a put. Selling a put, I view it as a mostly bullish strategy.
Absolutely.
So selling a put is I want to own this stock, but I'm only AMC is at $5 right now. I want to own AMC. I'm bullish in the long term, but I'm only willing to buy it if it's at $4.50. I think $5 might be overvalued. So I will sell a put at $4.50. I will collect immediate money that's mine no matter what. That's my premium.
And how
And
does theta affect that, Tony?
how does theta affect that?
Yes,
It doesn't. I mean, that's your money to keep no matter what.
it works in your favor. The longer you hold that option,
Oh, I
right?
thought you were talking about the premium you collect. Sorry.
Yeah, the
Yeah, the
premium.
option itself, when you're selling options, theta now works in your favor.
Exactly.
So the longer you hold that option, if you buy it on Monday and things don't go, if it doesn't go down to 450, it's hard to explain how theta works on selling a put because it looks weird on your screen. I don't even know if I can explain it this late on a Friday, but theta works in the favor of option sellers. That's the best way to say it.
Yeah, theta works in the favor of option sellers because if the stock doesn't move and it stays flat, theta's in your favor. If the stock moves against you as a option seller, then it's working in the option buyer's favor. So if the stock drops, then it's working in the option buyer's favor. If the stock doesn't move, theta is going to eat that contract up. So I like theta because I'm an option seller. But that's a way to learn one of the Greeks, right? Like we talked about one of the Greeks and the differences between buying and selling puts. And that goes for calls too. It's not only puts. We just discussed puts, but calls is the same exact thing. It works the same exact way.
2024, you're right. If in my case, like if I sell a 450 on Monday and AMC closes at 451 on Friday, I get to keep the money I made on Monday. Well, I get to keep the money I made anyways. But I'm not going to buy the shares because it didn't drop below 450. And next week I just do that again, and I just keep doing that. And maybe some weeks I adjust my strike price. Maybe one week I'm selling a 450. Maybe if the stock is trending up, I might sell a $5. I gotta have a good feel for what is likely to happen over that week. That's why we think about this over the weekend. Look at all the news. Look at what's coming up for the box office. What is likely to happen? What's the company going to do with dilution? You got to weigh all those things. What is likely to happen in 5 days from Monday to Friday? That's how you pick your strike price. And I pick a price for my strike when I'm selling a put that, okay, I don't think it's going to go below 450. I just want the money. But if it does go below 450, I'm okay buying it at 450. And let's just make it easy. Let's say that I made $25 selling the put and the stock closed on Friday at 440. I get to, I'm going to pay $450. The stock's worth $440, but I also made $25 on Monday. So that means my cost basis is $425. I hope that makes sense. I know it's late on a Friday. I hope I explained that correctly. But because I made $25 on Monday and I got bought in on Friday at 450, I'm going to subtract the 25 I made from 450. And I'm going to mark in my little spreadsheet that my cost basis on these shares is $425. You got a screen share for us to look at, Mediocre?
Yeah, I do. It's just the options, Shane. You got it up?
Yeah.
All right. So this is my position for this week. It's obviously zero now because the market's closed. So let's look at next week. This is the next week's on AMC, right? So this is what I look at. You got the ask this is the put side, this is the call side, okay? So I didn't get the shares at $5 this week. So let's say I want to try and get the shares next week at $5. So you got the ask at 23 cents right here, and you got the bid at 20, right? So I know I could at least get 20 cents per share. All I got to do is put up $500 for 100 shares of stock, and they're going to give me 20 cents a share. So let's see. 100 times 0.20 equals $20. So really I'm buying the stock for $480 if it goes into money. And that's the simple math we do. And as you do this over and over and over again, it's only pennies. Like some will tell you on the internet that we don't know what we're talking about. We only make pennies. And you're right. I only make 20 pennies per share. So do the math, figure it out. But that's selling puts. So if you sold the 450 for next week, it's paying 3 cents a share. 3 cents a share. at 450. It's not even trading near 450. It may not even get there, but that's three cents. That's $3 of free money. So if you keep doing that over time, it's going to add up, right? The closer to the money it is, obviously, it's going to be higher. Let's say you want to sell a call. Let's say you own shares at $5 and you want to sell a call. Ooh, man, the call prices got smashed, huh, Tony?
Yep.
12 cents. Holy smokes, they're getting hurt. That's interesting. I didn't notice this earlier. So if you sold the 550 for next week, you're going to get 12 cents, which that's decent money a share. Think about it. 100 shares, you take 10 cents off. That's $10. That's $12 right there. And that's all I wanted to show you. So, you got to look at the bid and the ask, and usually you're going to end up with the bid price, and that's what I look at. And I wanted you guys to know that's 11 cents per share. That's 20 cents per share, not just 20 cents. That matters. People don't realize that, I think.
Wilmer says that hedging with options is very expensive. It's not 100% cover your shares unless you're hedging futures. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Mediocre, but if you're hedging with at the money puts, it should be dollar for dollar, 100% hedge for your shares. It is going to be more expensive. And if you're not correct on the direction of the stock, you lost expensive insurance. The other choice you have is buy out of the money puts. If you're trying to hedge for some downside, they at a much lower strike than the current price. They will be cheaper, but in that case, you're not going to make a dollar for dollar if the stock drops.
Right.
You'll offset some of your loss.
Exactly. Not most of it, but not all of it.
So I just went through this with a member of the Discord. We were running through a scenario of buying calls. He thought a certain stock was going to run massively up, and he was looking at strike prices $5 above the current price. He's like, "Why am I not making 1,000% if this stock is running up?" And I said, "Because you're buying out of the money calls, and they're cheap. If you want to make dollar for dollar, buy a at the money call at the current strike price."
Right.
That's a choice. There's a lot of choices. Options are not easy
Yeah,
for
that's
beginners.
delta. You're talking about delta. That's a whole nother Greek. I don't want to go into that now, but
Yeah, we're not going to get into that discussion tonight.
just so you know, the higher the delta, the more it trades with the stock 1-for-1. So one delta, a 99 delta will trade 1-for-1 with the stock, right? Percentage wise. People don't understand that. So when your delta's, at 50, it's only trading at half. So, yeah, Chrismo, you're right. $20 a week is pretty good. Selling options for 100 shares, right? It's not bad money. But I think people don't understand it, and you just got to learn. I think people need to take the time to learn some things, and that's it.
Anya says, "You guys are options wizards." Apparently, though, Anya, we're just making pennies.
Yeah.
Imagine how much money that guy has left sitting on the table over the last 3 years, Mediocre, with that attitude. I don't like anybody. If you sell options on GameStop, I can't be your friend. Imagine. I feel bad not doing that. And I will say it. I feel bad not doing it on AMC and telling people, "Oh no, I don't want to do that because what if it runs up?" I'm telling you guys, that was dumb.
Yeah, what we did with the buy and hold listen.
No, I'm talking about options. Buy and hold is one thing, but you should be selling. If you've got a massive AMC or GameStop position, you ought to be thinking about, is options right for me?
Right, but we weren't doing that.
I was not doing that. But now I'm telling you that was a dumb decision.
Right. It was a stupid decision, and we weren't doing it. Why? Because of MOAS, right? There was a chance we could get a massive short squeeze, right? And I'm done with that. I don't care about that. I care about percentage gain every week. How can I grow my portfolio? That's what I care about. Okay? Point blank, plain and simple. People may not like that, whatever. I'm a trader. I've always been a trader. The only reason why I held AMC was exactly what I just told you. So I should have been doing this then, and I wish I was because I would have a lot more money than I have now. I mean, I'm doing okay, don't get me wrong, but
And in 2 years, the GameStop people are finally going to say, I wish I was selling options all along. I
yeah.
guarantee it. And some of them are like the smart ones, but then you got loudmouths on YouTube telling people, oh no, don't do that.
Oh yeah, options are bad. They're dangerous. They're dangerous. They're only
Don't
dangerous
don't
if you.
listen to these rogue traders doing their late night chats. They're just making pennies. We got guys making thousands of dollars a week selling
Absolutely.
options on GameStop while everybody else is sitting still or going down.
I'm going to tell you guys something. This is the truth, and Tony knows this, right? I do not post any of my gains, and the reason is because I don't want people to feel bad, right? I'm not a braggadocious person. Am I lying, Tony?
No.
Right? I don't post my gains because I don't want to make people feel bad, and that's just the truth. I do very well when I make my trades. I'm just going to say that.
Post your P&L, mediocre.
You guys would not be happy if I did. I got to guarantee you that.
2024 wants to know if you want to tell him how many shares you have. That I'll leave that up to you. I have none at the moment, but I'm trying to get back in with some puts, and I'm watching the charts. So the longer it stays here in this level, the more I like it. But I'd like to be in that green zone that we flashed up on the screen earlier for my buys.
That's the other thing is I don't like to tell people how many shares I have because number one, you may have a different risk tolerance than me, right? Like Tony and I do not do the same things. Okay. I have a very different risk tolerance. I pay very close attention to my portfolio. Um, and I can be in and out. If something goes wrong, I can exit much quicker than most, right? I kind of have things that I could do. Like if a trade doesn't go my way and bad news comes out or whatever, I could exit. Yeah, I'm going to lose money, but I could be out quick.
That's the thing I've noticed, mediocre too. People criticize you if you have a small position or a large position. There's no winning with the audience because if you're managing your risk and you have a small position, they're like, "Why are you even talking about this stock? You have a small position." If you have a large position and you disclose that, they're going to say you're an idiot and you're trying to just convince people to buy it because you're bag holding. There's no winning, guys, on YouTube for us to disclose our position, and we don't want to influence you. Other than saying, get a cheap entry, understand the financials, understand the company's strategic objective, and unplug from all the conspiracy bullshit. Make smart trades, make informed trades. The size of your position does not matter.
Yeah, I'm not a bag holder, just so you guys know. I am very much profitable on AMC and other stocks, right? Like it's not the only stock, but I make profitable trades. That's what matters to me. I don't care anymore. So I'm like, I want AMC to succeed. Don't get me wrong. I don't want people to misconstrue what I'm saying, right? Like, I want AMC to come out of bankruptcy and be a strong company, right?
Wait. Come out of bankruptcy.
Well, they're not in bankruptcy.
Avoid bankruptcy.
Avoid bankruptcy, right? That's what I'm trying to say. They're not in bankruptcy. But thanks for correcting me. What I mean is like, I don't want to see them end up there, and I don't think that they're going to. If I thought that, I wouldn't put my money in. You follow what I'm saying? Yeah. That's kind of what I meant. Sorry, I didn't mean to. Don't. Oh boy, I'm going to catch up for that one, Tony.
2024 says when it went below 3, I wanted to come back. I mean, we were watching it and talking to each other when it was in the 2s. Like, oh my gosh! As much as we knew about the financials and where the company was headed and where the box office was headed for us, still, yes, it's a speculative buy. However, we were like, this is a no-brainer in this price range. And you got these dumbass conspiracy theorists that hate AMC, hate Adam Aaron, think he's a criminal, saying, "Oh, it's going to $1. It's going to $1.50." I was like, You guys are going to be so wrong.
Oh,
And
yeah.
we were loading up in that $2 to $3 range, 250, whatever it got down to, 238. For me, that was like the easiest decision ever
I'll just
at
say
that
this.
point in time.
I am not in the average amount of shares. That's what I'll tell you.
But
Now,
just
if you
because
look
I
at,
think something is a screaming buy does not mean that I don't think it's not speculative. It is, until they're cash flow positive, net earnings positive, this will always be a speculative trade.
but just so you guys know, my share count doesn't matter, and I'm going to tell you why my share count doesn't matter. Because I don't hold the stock.
Dust to Dust, what's up? He says, what is a midterm price target you're seeing for AMC? I kind of, let's do a imaginary exercise, assuming that they don't ever dilute above 359 million shares, which is roughly what they have right now. And let's pick a earnings per share that you think they could make in a year, positive. Let's say they get positive.
Oh,
This
now
is
we're
the same exercise you could do for GameStop, and you'll understand why I'm so critical of GameStop current price. You could do this exercise for any stock. You first have to say to yourself, what is this company going to make in positive earnings next year?
this turned into a learning class, Tony. This is good.
2020. Let's just say in 2025, AMC will make $1 earnings per share for the entire year. I'm not saying that's going to happen. Then let's say that the reasonable PE ratio for an entertainment stock is 20, a PE of 20. Let's see what C&K is right now. IMAX is at a PE of 19. So 20, I think, is fair. C&K, the forward PE ratio is 28, even more healthy. Let's just say 20. Then you could say if AMC made $1 per share positive earnings in the next year times a PE ratio in the industry of 20, then a fair price that you could expect would be $20 based on earnings. That's a very simple exercise you could do. And you could do the same thing for GameStop. This is the discussion that people don't want to have about GameStop. What did they make? GameStop's profitable, guys. Pile in. What did they make?
So now here's how this is what
six
I do in the
pennies.
Discord, you guys. I play the devil's advocate all the time. Right? Let's say AMC makes 10-cent profitable earnings for the year. Right? And the reason I do this is because I want to see, like, where's the general, right? So what would that end up being, Tony? Do you know? At a 20 PE ratio.
10 cents?
Yeah, for the year.
That'd be a $2 price target.
That's
based on a PE ratio of 20. That's why you got to ask yourself, what is a reasonable earnings for AMC if they were to get
positive quarters?
If they were to get positive earnings in 2025, is it going to be 10 cents for the entire year? Is it going to be $1? Is it going to be $5 per share? For the year, don't worry about what one quarter is. This is the problem the GameStop people are making and lying to their viewers about. Guys, we had a positive quarter in Q4. Everything's fine. Pile in at $30. No. Tell me what the earnings is going to be for the next 12 months. Then I can tell you what a reasonable price is for GameStop. They can't tell you that because, well, things are changing. Things are changing with $4 billion. There's a lot of new potential, but up until a couple of weeks ago, GameStop was forecasted to lose money next year. So there is no price target. that's reasonable for GameStop. Now things are changing, that there's potential for the company to invest that money and get earnings and get you a healthy price target. But that's how I want you at your, if you're just very beginner, brand new, this is a very simple exercise. What's the next 12 months earnings? Multiply that times a reasonable PE ratio in the industry of the company you're looking at. There's your price target. And that's how Wall Street is coming up with a $13 price target for GameStop. It's not because they hate GameStop. They're doing actual real analysis, applying traditional financial analysis. Wall Street only cares about earnings. They don't care about Ryan Cohen. They don't care about $4 billion on the balance sheet. All meaningless. What's the earnings? And that's why I will say AMC is speculative, because until they have positive earnings, the proper valuation is anybody's guess. It's all of our guess.
I don't think it's going to dump. I just was using that as an example of what we're actually looking at, right?
Anya says when the next earnings comes out, we'll if it won't be good, will the price dump? Everyone already knows, Anya. The good thing about AMC is we can look at box office. We can forecast earnings. Everybody already knows. I've put out 2 videos now on what the earnings is going to be. Every analyst, every semi-competent person like me that has a spreadsheet can tell you almost exactly what the earnings is going to be. It's baked in at this point. Analysts are telling you the price target's $4 on AMC based on earnings. That's probably reasonable. Is it going to dump? Maybe it could. I think $4.50 next week for a close on Friday is not out of the question. But the other thing we're in this great state of flux right now where the box office is about to become a game changer for the rest of this year. So don't sell yourself short. No pun intended. I think that this Q2 earnings is going to be bad, but it's going to be a speed bump because Wall Street will quickly forget about it in light of hopefully overwhelming positive box office news every week for the rest of this year. That's my hope.
You can look at Stock Chameleon. What's another one, Tony?
For what?
FinViz. Looking up financials on companies.
I like stockanalysis.com for just stock analysis.
FinViz has
the interface is real clean on that one. You could use Yahoo Finance. FinViz is okay, but it's a little more difficult to read if you're a newbie. Just go to stockanalysis.com and go to the forecast tab, and you're going to get a very reasonable, rational Wall Street analysis for next quarter, next year, earnings and revenue. It's going to, guys, I'm telling you right now, it's going to exactly match my spreadsheet, except I might be more bullish than them on box office, and I might have slightly better numbers, and I will correct them when they're wrong, like that dipshit from Roth MKM, because I know when they're wrong now. I have a spreadsheet that tells me when an analyst fucks up. But start with what the analysts are telling you. They're not telling you that because they hate your company. They're just applying traditional analysis. And then you can start there and say, what might they be missing? That's what Roaring Kitty did in 2020. What are the analysts missing? A new gaming console refresh. The potential of management to restructure the company. New strategic direction. He had a lot of thesis that he thought Wall Street was missing. That's a fair thing to do. Start with the analysts, and then I think that the box office is going to be better than the analyst. That's my opinion, my analysis. So I don't think AMC is going bankrupt. But yeah, start with the tool like Yahoo Finance or Stock Analysis. Look at the analyst forecast, and then it's going to take some work if you're not used to doing financial analysis to learn how to do this stuff. And if you guys want to learn how to do that, I want to give you the damn videos. I'd love to see all of y'all become as adept at it as I am. And I'm no Wall Street guy, but I do have a little bit of college education in this stuff, and I've only been looking at this stuff for 30 years. I don't have
Tony,
any
you know how
letters.
I
I don't have any letters behind my name, but in certain circles, experience counts. Go
Tony,
ahead.
you know what
Mediocre.
I know about AMC not going bankrupt in 2024?
What do you know?
I know it's inconceivable. You know where I heard that from?
Inconceivable.
You like that one?
Yeah, I made a thumbnail about that. Don't ever
Yeah.
test a Sicilian when death is on the line.
When he said that, I knew I was like, okay, I could play the game here. I made it a little safer for me.
I like
right?
that quote, except he forgot that the Sicilian died mediocre a few seconds later. Dust to dust. Let me see. Did I get your X message? I don't know. What is your? Oh, here you are. It was filtered into my spam box. That is me. Yes. That is me on Twitter. There are a lot of fake copycat scammers on Twitter, but I have a blue check mark.
Yes, I do have X. It's was it Mediocre Trader 1? Let me look. I'll tell you right now. Oh, it's right here. Hang on.
Oh man. All right, mediocre. It is 11 o'clock my time, midnight your time. What time do we start? Around
9:30.
8:30 my time. 8, 9, 10.
Yeah, it's Mediocre Trader 1 on X.
Let's wrap it up here in about the next 6 minutes, because I don't want to. I'm not tired. Hey, babe, Scarlett. Yo. If y'all don't know, she's deaf. She's not ignoring me.
I'm drinking a Shock Top.
I'm trying to get her to bring me another beer so I don't have to. I can't do sign. She doesn't do sign language. Bring me a beer. She's not 100% deaf, but if she doesn't have her hearing aids in, she can't hear.
That's gonna be neat.
No car yet, Anya. Hey, babe. Hello. Can you bring me a beer from that bottom drawer? No car yet, Anya. I was trying to call you and you couldn't hear me. I was trying to call you and you couldn't hear me. Oh, wow. You even popped the top for me. I appreciate it. We are drinking Dos Equis tonight. I've got like 2 cans left. Any recommendations for my shopping trip this weekend? I'm saying I got 2 left.
California's your home?
I've got 2 left. I'm just saying I'm not going to finish them tonight, but I'm going to need to go shopping. Six Son says call her cell phone. Sometimes that works, Six Son. Anya, she did not get a new car yet. We were going to go last weekend, and I don't know if I told you guys, she started another new job, and she was mostly exhausted over the weekend, so she was catching up on sleep. So maybe this weekend we'll go look at some cars. The main priority on this weekend list is to go see Twisters. And if we have time to get her a car after that, we'll get that worked in. Anya says, check out the Toyota Highlander. I think that's a nice car, Anya. Mediocre, do you want to give Oscar your thoughts on the 2025 economy? I think if Trump wins, we're in good shape.
Yeah, I do too. I think they'll just bring back what I think he's going to do, because he can't really raise interest rates. He's going to want to cut, right? But he can bring back manufacturing. I think that's what his thing will do. He'll try to bring back manufacturing and bring inflation down that way by doing a lot of that type of stuff. You know what I mean?
Anya says Biden is going to withdraw. Probably. I think that would be correct. I don't want to derail this conversation into politics. So other than how politics might affect the economy, that's a fair discussion. But considering our last live stream got demonetized, we're not gonna delve deep into that topic. Anya says, how did he get the ladder in place? Good question, Anya. I want to know the answer to that also. 2024 says, I think what he means is how often do you guys go live? Whenever we feel like it, whenever we have something to say. I'm thinking about starting on August 1st, trying to publish a more set schedule, including maybe some, morning pre-market day trading live streams on whatever's popping in the morning. I'm going to think about that for the next 10 days. But I kind of got to get the wife's vehicle situation worked out before I can commit to that, because she's working an overnight shift, 7 p.m. to 7:30 a.m. And I don't like not having a car. So I'm taking her to work and picking her up at 7:30, which kind of kills my morning. So we'll see. But that is coming.
Have you talked with what's his face?
Our boy Johnny?
Yeah.
He texted me. He's still alive.
He sent me a message too, but I sent him a message back. He never got back to me again.
I sent him a message back too. I say, yo, bro, give me a call, Massalorian. And that was 3 days ago. So we got proof of life that Massalorian is alive and well, but
he sent me that. Hold on, let me check. Let me see. He might have sent me something else. So Thursday he messaged me back.
They did not eat it.
Then I'll just take it out, put it on your side. You can have them.
You heard from Korax? What's up with him?
I messaged him tonight to see if he wanted to come live, but I didn't hear back from him. So, it would have been interesting to hear his perspectives on stuff. He's done some live streams this week going over the Mullen lawsuit, the GTII lawsuit. Both of these companies are at risk of bankruptcy. GTII got moved to the OTC expert market. Have you heard of that before, Mediocre? OTC expert. Can you hear me?
What'd you say?
What did you say?
What'd you say? OTE experts? I heard something.
I said GTII, which was a loo pump a couple years ago and a ham pump for the last 2 years. It got moved to the OTC expert
that's what
market.
You said. Yeah.
So what that means is you can't buy it on any broker. You can't even see the price. A company is so derelict in their duties that they haven't filed financials, and even the pink sheets say we can't list you available to the retail traders. Can you imagine a penny stock being so shitty that even the pink sheets say we can't quote you to the public? Now, I predicted this 2 years ago on GTII.
Remember the Wolf of Wall Street?
Yeah. And I've taken a lot of heat and a lot of hate from people in social media, Twitter, YouTube. All I'm trying to do is help you guys. I can read financial statements. I can see that GTII has zero income, zero revenue. Management is diluting more and more every quarter. Okay, dilution is not evil if it's a necessity to stay alive, but you better freaking have some income. And yet we got these people being led by the Pied Pipers that this is going to be a short squeeze. Why do you think the shorts are there, mediocre? Because the company is derelict. They're not trying to generate any revenue.
And you as a shareholder should understand what you're investing in.
And now you want to sue them. Now you want to sue them.
The shorts are going to steal your fucking lunch.
The shorts are there for a reason in every play. And they saw what I saw 2 years ago, that retail was going to get wrecked. And on top of that, the thing that really makes me mad about the pumpers on GTII is they lie to people and tell them that short volume is short interest. A complete misconstruction, a complete misunderstanding of what short volume is. And those guys get so mad at me. They call me every name in the book, these GTII pumpers. But they are lying to people. Short volume is not short interest. So I'm not on Twitter to fight with people. I'm just going to once or twice a year remind you guys, short volume is not short interest. You're being lied to. You will lose all your money. That's GTII. It got moved to OTC expert market. They're being sued by investors now, and they are on the verge of bankruptcy. And they have been massively diluting shareholders and losing more and more money every quarter for the last 2 years. Meanwhile, the CEO's paying his masseuse with shares of stock, mediocre. He's paying his Bentley mechanic with shares of stock.
Oh, God.
But people say GTII management is for retail and Adam Aaron is evil. The same people that say GTII management is for retail say Adam Aaron's evil. Meanwhile, this guy in charge of GTII is paying his masseuse, paying his mechanic with hundreds of thousands of shares, paying his girlfriend.
That's crazy.
Wake the F up, people. We're mediocre, and myself and Corex are not your enemy. We're just going to tell you the uncomfortable truth because we don't want to see you lose money.
Yeah, I don't have a position in that, and I won't put a position in that.
If I saw a point where I said GTI is about to run, I would come on and make a video and tell you GTII is about to run. I'm in.
Exactly.
But I didn't see it. If it was going to run, I'd fucking play it. I've played finger FNGR to the upside and the downside, but not recently because they have a pending dilution hanging over their head, ready to go. And what's going to happen if finger starts running, mediocre?
They're going to dilute.
They're going to dilute.
It's
been disclosed in the company's documents. We need more cash to grow our business. We don't have it. The only way we can grow our business is to issue shares.
Here you go.
I'm not making stuff up. You can read it yourself in any 10Q. You can see the S3 filing. Yes, I know the CEO said we don't want to dilute at these levels. Okay, maybe I believe him. Maybe he doesn't want to. But what is he not saying? As soon as it starts running, we're going to dilute you, just like Ryan Cohen did. Is he trying to kill a short squeeze? Absolutely not. He's doing the responsible thing for his business. But these pumpers on Twitter and YouTube will tell you that finger's going to $1,000, that Saudi Arabia is about to invest billions of dollars in finger. Fucking bullshit. Just absolute horseshit. And if it runs because of any good news, take some money off the table. Take some money off. Get your
What kind of
profits.
solution you think they're going to do, Tony? An ATM, or are they going to do a debt for equity? Which one do you think?
ATM.
Exactly. What's the worst one you could do, Tony?
I think that Wall Street punishes equally for both, but the pain lasts longer on ATM. You know what I'm saying? If it's a 20% debt for equity solution or a 20%, we're going to sell, 20% of the float as new shares, you're going to see the stock drop about 20%. But that pain will linger longer until the ATM is done.
The difference is the ATM, it happens immediately. The debt for equity doesn't. People don't realize that either.
What do you mean?
It
does. The debt for equity happens immediately.
You think so?
Well, I guess it depends on what kind of debt for equity we're talking about. Like, when I hear you say debt for equity, I'm thinking about buying debt and swapping it for stock. But
what I'm talking about is when they have
sell debt and give them convertible shares or warrants.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. When they have to wait to sell them into the market.
Yeah, that is painful. That can be very painful, and it can be sneaky because it can last a long time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like when there's a limit to when they can sell, right? Like they can't sell right away. You don't notice it because, it might drop a little bit on the news, but they didn't sell the shares yet because this person has the shares and they're waiting, right? That's what I'm saying.
Anya wants us to look at HELE. Anya, Helen of Troy has been on my list for a while. It's not typically a sector that I'm interested in, but this will be our last chart of the night because we did an awful lot of GameStop and AMC chat tonight, and I don't want it just to be about those. We want to talk about whatever you guys are interested in. I am interested in this stock, not because I want to own whatever the hell they make, cosmetics or whatever. It's not a typical sector that I invest in, but look at this beautiful chart, Mediocre.
That is beaten badly.
It's trading at $56. It hasn't been this low since 2014. It's trading at $56 after a recent high of $265.
What the hell happened?
What is it?
What happened to it?
Well, I mean, the shorts will tell you that their financials are screwed. And they might be. They sell OXO. They sell Hydro Flask, the flasks, water bottles. They sell Vicks, Braun, Dry Bar. I mean, if you're a female, you know what some of these are. If you're a male, you know what some of these are. I don't know what OXO is. That brand sounds familiar. They have a lot of brands, but I think that their financials are messed up. So what I need to do, Anya, because I haven't done it, is really spend a day going through all their financials. Because even with a sick price drop like this, that just tells me I need to do more homework before I buy a falling knife. And I already know the shorts told me a year ago that this thing was in trouble. That I know. That's a fact.
Is it a manufacturing company or is it
a global consumer products company? They own a diversified portfolio of brands, well-respected brands, but that doesn't matter if your financials are screwed. So, Anya, you need to give me, for me to do the work on this, it's going to be at least half a day. It might be a full day. I mean, I don't do my work half-ass. You know that. But I think, something like this is getting to a point where it's worth a few hours of time to see if people are overreacting, or if it's a hot mess, then we just avoid it.
Well, that's what I was going to talk about earlier, Tony, right? Like a lot of times, especially with at the money offerings, right? But you could look at this chart, but they overreact sometimes and it goes farther than it needs to be, and you get good buying opportunities. I don't know that this is the case with this.
Yeah, I don't know either.
But
but even if let's just say they overreacted and 56 is a good buy-in, then you could have a run back up to 100 in
exactly.
the next year. That's 100% gainer. If the market is overreacting, I can't tell you that because I haven't looked at their financials, but I will. This could be a great opportunity, Anya.
We will see.
We will see. I have a hydro flask myself. That's the brand I buy. Anya says they had a distribution center. Osprey. Do they sell Osprey? I said Oxo. Oh yeah, Osprey. I have 2 Osprey water backpacks, Anya. These are some fantastic brands. I know Dry Bar is popular too for the ladies. I know at least I don't. Babe, have you heard of Dry Bar? Have you heard of Dry Bar? What is it?
Place you can go to where they will wash your hair. If you don't want your hair washed, you can go on with dry hair and they
It's a hair salon,
design
basically.
do your hair for it, curl it, straighten it, whatever.
Okay.
If you're gonna go out somewhere, or if you just don't feel like doing your own hair, you can go there.
And it's a pretty good place, right?
Huh?
It's a pretty good place. Like, is there one in the
Yeah, it's a
domain?
good place. If they don't do haircuts, they only do T-bone.
They do styling, not haircuts. Okay. So yeah, they got some great brands, Anya. I think it's worth looking into. I'm with you.
Now.
But yeah, I mean, this should be. We love on this channel finding stocks like this, and
They're
then
always booked up.
on Anya, my wife says Dry Bar is always booked up. They don't do haircuts, but they do styling.
I took this back because the other dog ain't using it, and I need to see what it is.
That's funny. I'll let you know, Anya, if I find something interesting. I mean, that's maybe a fantastic discount, but we need to do the work. We don't rush into stuff like this.
All right, Tony, I'm wiped, bro.
Anya says, Tony, you mentioned this stock. I looked into it. I did mention it when it was doing this down run here. After it did this down run, I mentioned it, but I still didn't look into it. I said months ago we need to start looking into it. Now we've had even another.
Doesn't want that. Can you put it in the bag right there for Bella?
Yeah, we need to now with this second down run, we need to look into it more. All right, Mediocre, thank you. Tell them your socials one more time.
My Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it is Mediocre Trader 1 at Mediocre Trader 1. My YouTube is Mediocre Trader, and that's really all I got.
I am on Twitter with a blue check mark. There are a lot of fake Tony Denaros, but I'm the blue check mark at Tony_Denaro. I'm on TikTok. I'm going to be better about posting on TikTok. I posted one today. It's also on my YouTube shorts. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Well, I guess if you're commenting, you subscribed, but I appreciate that. And if you guys watch, if you're my first line of getting this message out to people about how to be intelligent, educated investors. If I put something out and you guys watch it, then the algo pushes it out to new people. So I count on you to watch the videos, and I appreciate you guys watching the content that I put out. That means a lot. That is the most meaningful thing you can do. And Mediocre needs some subs because we're trying to get him over 1,000 subscribers. So go sub to his YouTube channel. With that being said, Mediocre, did you have one more thing you wanted to say?
I just want to say good night, everybody. Listen, it's about, making percentage gain in your portfolio. You can't just sit there and let your portfolio sit. You gotta prepare yourself for the future. That's really ultimately what we try to talk about.
Like I said on last Saturday's video, Mediocre, the number one thing, first of all, is protect your capital.
Absolutely.
Don't hold things to zero. That is the dumbest. That is the dumbest thing that I've ever heard. If y'all want to do it, that's on you. But I ain't doing that. I ain't holding nothing to zero. Hero or zero, no, that's not the message from this channel. Have reasonable exits if things don't work out. And number two, if you're listening to people who are not talking about the financials, the financial statements, or you're listening to people pushing conspiracies or just emotional traders, you're probably going to lose money. Have a good night, guys.
Good night,
Thank you,
everybody.
Mediocre.
Good night, Tony.
I was going to tell you about Dry Bar.
So you wanna go to war with me? You're talking like you think you're royalty. You think that I'm afraid, but I don't break. I heard you question my stability. You think I'll fall just like a guillotine, but I am here to stay. Won't look away. The storm is coming, so you better start running. No, you can't control, feel it in my bones. I'm coming for the, coming for the. I'm coming for the throne. Coming for the throne. So you wanna be my enemy? You should've known I'd never kiss the rain. Ice runs in my veins, won't play it safe. I don't belong with your nobility. Who died and made you king of anything? You think that I'm insane? It's your mistake. Kingdoms rise and fall. I've come to take it all. I'll take it. I've come to take it. Kingdoms rise and fall. I've come to take it all. I'll take it all. The storm is coming, so you better start running. No, you can't control, feel it in my bones. I'm coming for the, coming for the. I'm coming for the throne. I'm coming for the throne.
Let's go. Yo, I'm like an addict, ooh, I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay in power for a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never gonna look back. I'm never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast, and that's facts. Only I can make a change. Slowly take a step today. I will never be the same. Cause that's what it takes. Pieces is a form of art. I'm never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move